In most cases, Michael Jordan is recognized and celebrated as the greatest player in the history of the game. And although that is often debated, the one aspect that people rarely talk about is what made Michael so great. What were the nuanced details about his game that enabled him to win 10 scoring titles, 9 all-defense team selections, 5 most valuable player awards, and 6 championships? These are the skills of Michael Jordan, explained. Let's start with the less celebrated side of MJ's game, his defense. Michael Jordan possessed extraordinary defensive instincts and a deep understanding of the game. He could instantly analyze opposing offenses and react accordingly. However, it's not enough to simply read and react. One must also have the skills to execute on those reactions effectively. Michael Jordan possessed exceptional quickness and speed, allowing him to anticipate and intercept passes with remarkable precision. These abilities led to numerous electrifying fast break dunks, showcasing his athleticism and captivating audiences across the world. Jordan was known to gamble on defense, occasionally leaving his assigned player to try for a steal and score on the other end. This risky strategy could have disastrous consequences if unsuccessful, but for MJ, it often paid off, creating turnovers and fast break opportunities. His exceptional awareness and instincts also allowed him to be an effective help defender, often double-teaming opponents and forcing them into difficult passes that further led to turnovers. Michael Jordan was renowned for his on-ball defense, often compared to the legendary defensive back Deion Sanders for his ability to blanket opponents. He understood that effective defense relied more on footwork than reaching, and this was evident in his relentless activity on the defensive end. Jordan's feet were always moving, constantly shuffling and repositioning, allowing him to anticipate his opponent's moves and create opportunities for steals. His remarkably large hands provided the strength and dexterity to swat the ball away, further frustrating his opponents. These defensive skills propelled him to fourth on the NBA's all-time steals list, a remarkable achievement considering he played fewer games than anyone else currently in the top 10. In addition to his exceptional steals numbers, his airness possessed remarkable shot-blocking abilities for a guard. Early in his career, he was a free-roaming defender, always lurking and anticipating the opponent's next move. The moment an offensive player attempted a shot, Jordan would react with lightning-quick reflexes. His instincts, speed, and anticipation allowed him to block shots at an unprecedented rate for a guard, setting NBA records for the position. His ridiculously high vertical leap allowed him to deflect shots that would be out of the reach of most players. Jordan, with his exceptional basketball IQ, would carefully study the offensive player's feet and eyes. This allowed him to anticipate their movements and identify the perfect moment to strike. Often, as a help defender, he would seemingly appear out of nowhere, swatting the ball away from behind before the offensive player even realized he was there. The intense playoff wars against the bad boy Pistons forced Michael Jordan to dedicate himself to an intense training regimen, pushing his body to new limits. This newfound strength not only allowed him to endure punishment, but it also transformed him into a dominant defensive presence in the post. Meta World Peace, himself recognized as one of the NBA's all-time great defenders, has frequently discussed Michael Jordan's remarkable strength. And this was during Jordan's later years with the Washington Wizards, when MJ's physical abilities couldn't have possibly been in peak form. World Peace even emphasized this strength as a significant distinction between Jordan and Kobe Bryant, highlighting the unique physical dominance that set Jordan apart. Due to this elite strength, MJ was able to easily assert his will as the defender in the low post, not allowing the offensive player to get to their spots on the floor. This naturally disrupted the flow of the offense, forcing ball handlers into difficult situations and leading to turnovers due to the limited space they had to operate in effectively, thanks to Jordan. While Michael Jordan's defensive prowess is often argued over, it's crucial to remember that Jerry West, a legend in his own right and one of the best basketball talent evaluators ever, considered Jordan to be the best player on both ends of the court. He was not only the league's most dominant offensive force, but also its most formidable defender. This perspective, coming from someone with the logo's wealth of experience and basketball IQ, adds significant weight to any debate about Jordan's defensive abilities. When analyzing Michael Jordan's incredible offensive skill set, it's essential to distinguish between two distinct eras. The early years, marked by his explosive athleticism and daring drives to the basket, and the later stage, where his refined jump shot and mastery of the post-up game became more prominent. A young Michael Jordan attacked the basket with ruthless aggression. One of his many nicknames was the Black Cat, and like a cat, Jordan would strike quickly. When bringing the ball up court, defenders often gave him space, fearing his lightning-fast drives to the hoop. However, this only played into Jordan's hands as he would punish them with his deadly accurate mid-range jump shot. If a defender dared to crowd him to shut his shot down, Jordan would utilize his incredible acceleration and ball handling skills, often incorporating his deceptive stutter step move to blow past them and finish at the rim. His versatility, unpredictability, and never-say-die attitude made him nearly impossible to guard at such an early stage of his NBA career. When Michael inevitably got to the rim, there was usually an opposing big man waiting for him there. Before the defensive 3-second rule was implemented in 2001, opposing centers were allowed to camp near the basket without restriction. This allowed bigs to challenge MJ's shots with greater ease and, in that era, employ more physical defensive tactics against him. Overcoming these imposing defenders required exceptional skill and determination from Jordan. In the very first regular season game of his career, Michael received contact and landed hard after his first dunk attempt. However, this incident did not deter him. Instead, it ignited a fearless determination within him. For the remainder of his career, Jordan attacked the basket relentlessly. With his one-of-a-kind vertical leap, Jordan could ascend to heights that even great centers couldn't reach, which resulted in many of his unforgettable poster slams. When Michael Jordan couldn't simply dunk over his opponents, he utilized his remarkably soft touch around the basket. He possessed a fantastic understanding of angles and spin, enabling him to bank shots in from virtually any spot near the rim. As the league's perennial scoring leader of his era, Jordan frequently attacked the basket from both sides of the court. This means he needed the ability to finish strong with either hand, a skill he practiced diligently. He became particularly adept at reverse layups, showcasing his ambidexterity with both his right and left hand. The evidence of his mastery is abundant, as entire compilation videos online are dedicated to these impressive layups. Another famous aspect of his offensive arsenal was his, quote, hang time. Michael Jordan's extraordinary vertical leap was a sight to behold. He would often ascend to such incredible heights and release the ball so late in his descent on his jumper that it truly appeared as if he were suspended in mid-air, defying gravity itself. Michael's exceptionally large hands were also a significant advantage in these situations. His enhanced grip on the basketball allowed him to make in-air adjustments to his shot with a level of control that most players simply couldn't replicate. Even when facing a defender who managed to get a hand in his face, Jordan possessed the remarkable grip strength to subtly alter the ball's release angle and still find the bottom of the net. Michael Jordan's extraordinary hang time wasn't just for scoring. He often used his aerial prowess to manipulate defenses, suspending himself in midair, faking a shot, and then, at the last possible moment, dishing the ball to an open teammate for an easy basket. Michael Jordan possessed extraordinary body control, maintaining his balance even through heavy contact from defenders. This, combined with his remarkable strength and unwavering focus, allowed him to consistently finish plays while drawing fouls, resulting in numerous and-one opportunities. Basically, young MJ was an athletic freak, but displayed a remarkable combination of athleticism and skill. As he matured and left his athletic prime, his game evolved, and in the latter part of his career, his mastery of fundamentals became even more refined and polished. Specifically, during his second three-peat with the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan truly mastered the art of post-up play. His footwork was sound in the post, so as he backed down his defender, he would use his lower body to subtly assess their position and balance. With incredible precision, he could then fake in one direction, pivot the other way, and rise up for his deadly fadeaway jumper. MJ's post fade was unlike any other. He didn't simply shoot it from the post. He elevated, often reaching the same impressive heights as he did when dunking. This insane vertical leap made his fadeaway virtually unblockable, allowing him to unleash this signature move with unmatched precision whenever he desired. While the title of greatest all-around shooter in NBA history is certainly debatable between a few names, Michael Jordan's claim to the title of mid-range GOAT is undeniable. In the twilight of his career, during his final 2 seasons with the Bulls, Jordan shot an impressive 49% from between 16 feet and the three-point line. To truly grasp the significance of this accomplishment, consider that Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, 2 of the greatest scorers of all time, never achieved a single season shooting above 46% and 45% respectively from that same distance. Michael Jordan's mastery of the post-game drew the defense's attention like a magnet, creating opportunities for his teammates on the perimeter like Steve Kerr and Tony Kukoc. By commanding the offense from the low post, Jordan truly embodied the ideal leader for the triangle offense, showcasing his exceptional versatility and basketball IQ. By this stage of his career, Michael Jordan had honed his offensive game to a razor's edge. Every dribble, every cut, every move had a purpose. His agility and ball handling were exceptional, but they were always tools to deceive his defender or create an opening, and never for unnecessary showmanship. Michael Jordan's incredible success throughout his career is no mystery. While his athleticism and physical talents were obvious to anyone watching his airness, MJ's dominance stemmed from so much more than just speed and leaping ability. In truth, Michael Jordan was among the most fundamentally sound, strategic, and skilled players the game has ever seen.
Michael Jordan's final game as a Chicago Bull was a legendary and iconic as his sidekick Scottie Pippen was dealing with back problems, and as a result, Jordan had to carry the Bulls. MJ scored 45 of the Bulls' 87 points in that championship clinching game. That means a 35-year-old Jordan in his final game with the Bulls scored 51.7% of his team's points. Since the NBA and ABA merger in 1976, that is the highest percentage in NBA Finals history. On the evening of October 25th in 1984, MJ's legacy almost ended before it started. The Bulls were playing their first regular season game of the year, and early in the game, Jordan went up for his first official NBA dunk attempt, and it ended up extremely ugly. The defender's leg is caught underneath him, resulting in an awkward and painful landing. Fortunately, after a few moments, young MJ was okay and continued to play in the game. But if that angle had just been slightly different on the landing, it could have resulted in a broken shooting arm or even damage to his neck. As we all know, despite the terrible experience on his first dunk attempt, MJ managed a few successful dunks in his career. Scoring leaders usually don't win championships unless your name is Michael Jordan. In the history of the NBA, there have been a total of 5 players who won the championship while leading the league in scoring. And those players are Joe Fulks, George Mikan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, and Shaquille O'Neal. The craziest part is that MJ has done it more times than all other players of NBA history combined. Only 2 players in league history have averaged over 30 points and over 10 assists in a single NBA Finals series. These are the 2 players who continue to find themselves on their own list: Michael Jordan and LeBron James. MJ did it in 1991 against the Lakers, while LeBron did it twice, in 2017 and 2018 against the Warriors. Michael Jordan absolutely dominated his era, and no stat may better sum up the extent of his dominance than this one. From November of 1990 until his retirement in 1998, MJ never lost 3 games in a row. That's a streak of 632 games, which is easily the longest streak by a player in NBA history. Even the super team of the Warriors with Kevin Durant couldn't accomplish that same feat of avoiding a 3-game losing streak in any of their 3 seasons together. And this was one of the greatest and arguably the most overpowered team in league. The Chicago Bulls set the NBA record for the greatest regular season with a 72-10 record, which made them the first team in league history to eclipse 70 wins in a season. Not only did the Bulls win 72 games in 1996, but they were extremely close to reaching the 70-win mark in the following season as well. In the 1996-97 regular season, the Bulls actually had 69 wins heading into their final 2 regular season games. The first game was in Miami against the solid Heat team that they would later meet in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Heat won this regular season contest by 10 points. The final game of the regular season was against their rivals, the New York Knicks. The game was extremely tight throughout, with both teams making incredibly clutch baskets down the stretch. Chicago would have the last shot though, but Pippen, who had a good look, missed it pretty badly. If this shot had gone in, then the Bulls would have achieved something that no other team has done before for the second straight season. Roughly 4 years after his 63-point playoff performance against the Boston Celtics, the GOAT Michael Jordan added to his postseason lore over a 2-game stretch. In the 1988 playoffs, MJ became the first player in NBA history to log back-to-back 50-point games in the playoffs. In Game 1 of a first-round series with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jordan scored 50 points on 19 for 35 shooting, sinking all 12 of his free throws. Then came Game 2 3 days later on May 1st, 1988. Jordan one-upped himself with a 55-point game against the Cavs. He shot 24 for 45 overall and was 7 for 7 from the free throw line as the Bulls built a 2-0 series edge. The Cavs forced a decisive Game 5, but Jordan delivered there too. His 39 points powered a series-clinching 107-101 Bulls win. There have been many explosive scores throughout the league's history, but there are a few players who could score in bunches while remaining extremely efficient. For example, Tracy McGrady had just 8 games in his career where he scored at least 40 points while shooting at least 60% from the field. Kobe had 23 of those games, and well beyond that is Michael Jordan, who had 70 games where he scored at least 40 points on at least 60% shooting from the field. To put that in perspective, throughout his career, LeBron James has a total of 74 games where he scored at least 40 points, and that's in total, regardless of efficiency. Out of the 74, LeBron shot 60% in only 35 games. MJ is the only player in NBA history to win an MVP, a scoring title, first-team All-Defense and NBA championship, and a Finals MVP all in the same season. And amazingly, he did this 4 times. Jordan is the player with the most combinations of scoring titles and all-defensive first-team honors with 9. He's also the only player to win the scoring title and the Defensive Player of the Year award in the same season. His 35-point scoring average is the highest for any Defensive Player of the Year winner. Jordan won the NBA championship and the scoring title in the same season 6 times, most by any player, and his 32.6 scoring average is the highest for any player in a championship season. MJ is the only perimeter player in NBA history to average 30 points in a single season while shooting 50% from the field. And he did it 5 times. Scoring was obviously Jordan's standout skill, and he still holds the all-time record for leading the NBA in total points scored 11 times. Additionally, it is also an all-time record that Jordan led the NBA in scoring 10 times. Also, an all-time record is Michael's career regular season scoring average of 30.12 points per game. He also holds the all-time playoff points per game record with 33.5 points per game. In the playoffs, MJ was a killer. He still has the all-time record for most points ever in a playoff game with 63 against the Celtics in 1986. Jordan's first ever game where he scored over 50 points was the 63 in the playoffs. Jordan set a still-standing playoff record in the 1991 Finals against the Lakers when he scored on 13 consecutive field goals without a miss.
Jordan, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. That's 13 consecutive field goals.
That is a Finals record, but it is also an all-time playoff record. Another all-time playoff record MJ still holds is that he made 24 shots from the field against Cleveland in 1988. Against Detroit in 1991, Jordan made 13 free throws in a quarter, which is still an all-time playoff record. MJ holds the all-time record with 8 50-plus point playoff games. He also holds the all-time playoff record for most 40-plus point games with 38. Another all-time record Jordan holds is another playoff record. He is the only player in NBA history to never once score under 15 points in any playoff game he ever played in. MJ holds the all-time record by being the only player in NBA history to never once score under 20 points in a finals game. The most underrated aspect of MJ's game was definitely his shot blocking. If MJ isn't the greatest shot blocking guard in the history of the game, then he's certainly in the top 3. On defense, Michael was a very sneaky and intelligent player who could read a defense and respond accordingly as the help defender. Combine that with his insane quickness, agility, and leaping ability, and you have the recipe for an all-time great shot blocking wing. MJ has the most blocks by a guard in a single season, which was a total of 131, and the 1987-88 season. And unsurprisingly, that was the season he won the Defensive Player of the Year. Not only is he first on the all-time list, but he's also in the second spot as he blocked 125 shots in the 1986-87 season. In that 1986-87 season, he began a career-long onslaught on the NBA record book. That year saw him average 37.1 points in the first of 7 consecutive seasons in which he led the league in scoring and topped 30 points per contest. In the spring of 1989, Bulls coach Doug Collins moved Jordan to the point guard position, as the point guard Jordan had a streak where he had 7 straight triple-doubles and 10 triple-doubles in 11 games. In the final 24 games as the point guard, Jordan averaged over 30 points, over 9 rebounds, and over 10 assists, all while being efficient on offense and dominant on defense. On the year, he was first in win shares, first in player efficiency rating, and first in plus-minus. As we all know, MJ reached 6 NBA Finals, he has 6 rings, and he missed 6 regular season games in those 6 championship seasons combined. Drafted in 1984, Jordan played all 82 games in his very first season. It was the first of 9 whole seasons where MJ would play all 82 games. However, the following season, MJ sustained a broken foot injury and sat out for almost the entirety of 1985-86 campaign. It is almost incredible that, excluding that season, MJ missed only 7 games in the 12 seasons he played with the Bulls. By MJ, he felt an obligation to play every day.
He felt an obligation to play every game.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew, not just for a television audience, but he knew, and every time he played, there were families, there were others who had saved their money, potentially scalped the ticket in those days, as they called it, to see Michael Jordan play.
Jordan remains one of the most impressive athletes the NBA has ever seen. By reports, in North Carolina, he ran a 40-yard dash in an amazing 4.3 seconds.
And I'll never forget this. His sophomore year, ran the 40-yard. Me and Coach Guthers and our trainer, Mark Carnes, we all 3 had hand stopwatches, so we're not professional timers by any means. But he crossed the line, and I looked, and I said, wow. Coach Guthers, what'd you get? And he looked at me, and then Mark Davis said, I got 4.39. And Coach Guthers said, I got 4.38. And I said, I did too. And so I waited a couple of, I said, Michael, we missed your start. You made a mistake here. Come on, I need you to run it again. And he said, oh, too fast for you, huh? I'll never forget that. And he goes back to the line and runs it again. And all of us got below 4.4 as a sophomore. So he went from 6'4.5" to 6'6" and got faster.
We all know MJ could leap out of the gym, but his speed was ridiculous too. He could run like Deion Sanders. Imagine Klay Thompson's frame combined with Allen Iverson's agility and Russell Westbrook's speed. He might not have been as big or as strong as LeBron James, but Jordan made up for that with elite quickness. Now add that to his 48 inches vertical leap and you have the most athletic player to ever play basketball. MJ's once-in-a-lifetime greatness could be seen as soon as he set foot on the court for the first time. In his rookie season, he took the league by storm, displaying his elite athleticism as he averaged 28.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, and 2.4 steals on 51.5% shooting. He finished 3rd in scoring and 4th in steals, but for the Bulls specifically, his value was off the charts as he led his team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. He's the only rookie in history who's ever done that. With Jordan at the wheel, the Bulls improved 11 wins over the previous season, and even Larry Bird said that he's never seen a player improve a team more than MJ did. Jordan wore number 12 for 1 game. On February 14, 1990, Jordan scored 49 points wearing number 12 on a loss to the Magic. The only player in NBA history to score more points in a single game while wearing 12 is Hall of Famer George Yardley. Jordan's salary in 1995-96 was $3.85 million, which ranked 32nd in the NBA that season. Players with higher salaries that season included Benoit Benjamin, Brian Shaw, Danny Ferry, and Dale Davis. For his career, Jordan was 9 of 18 shooting in the playoffs on potential game-tying or go-ahead shots in the final 24 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime. He was a perfect 3 of 3 on such shots in games when his team faced elimination and 4 of 7 when his team had an opportunity to clinch. By the end of his tenure with the Bulls, Jordan had developed into the game's best mid-range scorer. His final 2 seasons in Chicago, Jordan made 997 mid-range shots, over 250 more than any other player. In his final season with the Wizards, when he turned 40 years old, Jordan dunked 21 times. To put things into perspective, in his final season with the Lakers, the 37-years-old Kobe Bryant has dunked 4 times. MJ's title teams did not blow leads. In the 6 seasons they won the title, they were 42-0 in the playoffs and 210-5 in the regular season, when leading by 10 or more entering the fourth quarter. Jordan was returning to the NBA as a 38-year-old who was trying to get back into basketball shape. The comeback had plenty of physical obstacles as well. Jordan was heading into his return dealing with tendinitis in his wrist and in both of his knees. During a pickup game that offseason, Ron Artest had broke 2 of Jordan's ribs while playing physical defense on MJ.
One day, me and Michael was just like tussling hard. He wanted this position. I'm like, nah, you can't have this position. You know what I'm saying? So when I was trying to deny him and get his arm out the way, my elbow hit him in the ribs, and his ribs cracked.
Jordan would also go on to have fluid drained from his knees multiple times throughout that year. Michael Jordan was joining a Wizards team who had finished the previous season with a 3rd worst record in the entire NBA at 19-63. Despite the fact that they were playing in a much weaker Eastern Conference, they also had the 2nd worst defense in the league in terms of opponents' points per game. The Wizards started the season with a 26-21 record, and on the 47th game, Jordan collided with a teammate and tore his meniscus. He tried to play through the pain and on reduced minutes, but after another 14 games, he had arthroscopic knee surgery to repair the knee and his season was over. Before Jordan's injury occurred, MJ was averaging 25.1 points per game, 6.2 assists, 5.3 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game. In his last 20 games leading up to his injury, MJ was averaging 27.5 points per game, 6.4 assists, 5.2 rebounds, and 1.3 steals per game on 44% shooting. In his last 10 games leading up to the injury, MJ was averaging 29 points, 6.6 assists, 6.1 rebounds, 1.2 steals on 47% shooting. Also, before Jordan was injured, the Wizards were on a 47-win pace and were well in the playoff hunt. Up to that point, no team in NBA history had ever been a sub-20 win team and gone on to have a winning record the following season. Aging MJ had the Wizards well on their way up until the meniscus happened. Not only did Jordan take one of the worst teams in the league and make them competitive, but had it not been for his knee injury, the Wizards would have had a legitimate shot at the 1st seed in the Eastern Conference. Jordan started the first 15 games of the 2002-2003 season coming off of the bench. In his 2nd season in Washington, Jordan was the only Wizard to play all 82 games, and he was 40 years old. He also became the only 40-year-old in NBA history to score over 40 points in a game, which he did several times that season. He also became the oldest player in NBA history to average at least 20 points per game. Michael Jordan is one of the most prominent names on the planet. Since he isn't too keen on public appearances, even a glimpse of his airness causes a frenzy among fans. Furthermore, it's safe to say that many people are scared of displeasing MJ. If he sets his sight on something, then his demands are usually met. That was again the case when Hollywood star Ben Affleck sat down with the 6-time NBA champion to discuss a movie centered around MJ's deal with Nike. Air is an upcoming movie by filmmaker Ben Affleck and actor Matt Damon's new company, Artists Equity. It is a biographical film that follows the long-standing partnership between Michael Jordan and Nike. We are introduced to Jordan's mother, a resolute woman who recognizes her son's unparalleled talent and refuses to compromise on his potential. The story follows the rise of Jordan, who eventually solidifies his position as the greatest of all time. While developing ideas with Jordan, Affleck faced a challenging demand that made him anxious. In an interview for Jimmy Kimmel, Affleck described the intimidating moment he dealt with the greatest basketball player of all time.
You, at his suggestion, had Viola Davis play his mom, Dolores Jordan.
Suggestion, yeah.
Had his insistence.
I feel like Michael makes suggestions. I can't pretend to be, I'm gonna sit here and act like, yeah, we're friends. Like, I'm totally intimidated by him, and I don't know. I'm run into him a couple of times, and I was gonna do the movie, and I was like, listen, could I sit down with you and just for an hour, because I'd like to talk to you about this thing. I got this script, and if you don't want me to do it, I just won't do it. Forget it. Like, just from a respect point of view and also a self-preservation. But I can't think of anything stupider than making this movie and Michael Jordan be like, this is you know what I mean? So I said, look, and once he seemed open to it, I was like, look, I have to, it's really ultimately kind of a fable, and there's going to change stuff, and we have to make it into a dramatic story. But what are the things that are fundamentally important to you, and that are like, absolutely, you cannot violate these truths, because I will not. And very tellingly, he wasn't about like, I did this, he talked about other people. He talked about his mom.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who's so intimidating, so powerful, so like just sitting across from him, you just feel kind of like, and he had this look of kind of reverence, and he talked about his mother, and what she meant, and how he was like, I didn't want to go to Oregon. I would have signed away my rights for a red Mercedes for life.
That red Mercedes.
What? Really? He's like, yeah. My mom told me this is, hey, my mom went to the bank, and he talked about such respect. I said, she sounds fascinating. Wow, do you think I could call her up? And he was like, you could try. Then I made the classic error of saying, so who do you think might be? It has to be Viola Davis. I was like, it does have to be Viola Davis.
Despite the movie being centered around Michael Jordan, he does not appear in the film. And Affleck, the director of the movie, explained why.
I just was never going to show Jordan because he's just too famous, too meaningful. I try to show you somebody that's not Michael Jordan and convince you like, that's Michael Jordan.
He did it very cleverly.
You're going to go, well, it's all
to see him from the back.
He's just like, in the ether. Yeah, you see the back of it, but it's like, it's about all the people around him. He's kind of too big for it in a way, and you bring to it your imagination. We show clips of the real Michael Jordan doing what is unmistakably him, because like you try to fake that, you take away from what is he really does mean, which is extraordinary.
Air isn't told from the perspective of Jordan, but from the perspective of Sonny Vaccaro. Sonny Vaccaro is the marketing executive that pushed Jordan to start his own exclusive line of shoes. This gives the audience an insight into the lives of those who brought Air Jordans to life. There was already great buzz, but critics still needed to offer their early reviews on it. The general consensus is overwhelmingly positive, and it's even aiming to become one of next year's favorites during award season. One of the critics is even calling for Matt Damon's imminent Academy Award nomination for his portrayal of Sonny Vaccaro, who was the one who landed the contract. Affleck plays Nike founder Phil Knight, and both of them wrote the script. Other movie stars who appears on the film are Viola Davis as Jordan's mother, Chris Tucker, Marlon Wayans, Jason Bateman, and Jessica Green. The movie is set to release on the 5th of April, 2023. With a strong supporting cast, Air will hopefully present a truthful and enjoyable account of Nike's pursuit of a legend.
Michael Jordan is widely regarded as one of the most competitive players in NBA history. While he had numerous friendships across the league, it was often revealed that he would strategize against his friends during games, with Charles Barkley being a notable example. All-Star Weekend, however, was a different story. Since the game had no stakes and was purely an exhibition for the fans, there was no need for strategic planning. Jordan understood this, and right before the 1996 All-Star Game, MJ gave us another classic GOAT moment. Here's Penny talking on this incident at the Knuckleheads podcast.
MJ, I'm getting ready to be announced, and he started moving closer to me. I'm like, MJ, you know you going last, bro. What you coming over here for? Like, you ain't about to, I'm not going after you, so what you doing? I didn't know what he was doing. He just kept inching, like he was sitting closer. And I guess he had already told Scotty or somebody, I'm about to do the snap off or whatever. And bro, I walk out, and he snapped them Jones, and I had to hold my pants, and I looked back, he's just laughing like I'm on or something. It was crazy, but I'm like, hey man, that was an ultimate compliment to me, because that made me feel like, that he was like, he respected me and who I was.
Here's MJ during the game when he was asked about that moment.
Well, I've done it a couple of years. I did it to Joe Dumars one year, but it all started when someone did it to me my first couple of years. So I decided to pass it along.
The 2022 All-Star Weekend in Cleveland was a big celebration for the NBA's 75th anniversary. One of the highlights was honoring the 75 greatest players of all time. For Damian Lillard, the weekend felt unreal as he got to be around so many basketball legends. But for Lillard, the best part wasn't all of that. It was when Michael Jordan finally showed up.
We walk out of the room where we take the big picture, and when we walk out, it's like all these cameras like this. You know what I mean? There's so many stars and all these legends in here, and when we get in the hallway, you see MJ walking towards us. He wasn't even in there for the big picture.
He just got there.
He just got there. So he's walking and there's more cameras on just him by himself than it is on all of us. And it was like, that's when you really saw the difference of like, man, this dude the GOAT.
Yeah.
Like when he was walking, everybody was just staring at him.
Yeah.
Like even all the people that was
like the top 75 looking at him.
The other 74 was looking at him like he was walking up, he walked up. It was like he just took over
I know
the whole situation.
Was that your first time meeting him? Because before you said you hadn't met Mike before.
I still ain't never met him.
You just looked at him.
Look, I was sitting there. I was standing next to Clyde. And I just was staring at him like, because all the lights was on him, and it was just like, man, that's Jordan. Like,
he's glowing.
I'm looking at him like his arms and his hands. Like, I'm just looking at him like, damn. I ain't say nothing to him. Then they lined us up, and we all walked out. The whole time, I ain't say nothing. I just was looking like, I'm just looking like, damn. I was looking around at everybody, but like when he came out, it was like unreal.
Yeah, that was
how loud it was. How everybody like, if you looked around the arena, it was nothing but stars there.
Yeah,
right.
Like we would all recognize these people as stars, and how they even was looking at them was like, they felt small too. You know what I mean? Like everybody was just like, it's Jordan.
Another legend that was in awe by Jordan that night was the great D. Wade. On an episode of Carmelo Anthony's podcast, Wade, among the players on the anniversary team, shared one moment that stood out for him as he first noticed MJ in the room.
Let me tell you something, when he walked through.
Just aura, that's it.
Everything changed.
Yeah.
You know when the coolest person walk in the room?
Yeah. You cool until the coolest nigga walk in the room, yeah.
Man, when MJ came in and get silence. Everybody was like, oh.
He's sizing
right
niggas
away.
up from the tunnel.
Right away.
Stop it.
He walking past you. Yeah, man, I'd bust your ass. Like he's sizing everybody up.
Bust your ass.
You saw the clip
with
with him and Magic that went viral, right?
Yeah,
they all saw the clip.
That's an old dog right there. That's an old dog. Come on, where your shoes at? We go play one-on-one, me and you right now.
That was right away. And that's the moment where I was just sitting there and I'm like, I'm listening to Jordan and Magic talk shit.
Really talk shit though.
Yo. Like, put your sneaks on, let's go right now. And I'm like,
I'll tear your ass up right now.
Oh, they serious?
Meta Sandiford Artest, previously legally named Meta World Peace, is one of the most fearless and dynamic players in NBA history. Known for his relentless defense and physical style of play, Meta earned an NBA championship in 2010 with the Los Angeles Lakers and was named Defensive Player of the Year in 2004. We've already heard the story about Meta breaking Jordan's ribs during MJ's comeback attempt in the 2001 summer, but recently, Meta shared some new details about that incident.
I played against Mike for the first time in the summertime when I accidentally broke his rib. In the summertime, Mike go hard everywhere. Am I right?
Absolutely.
So Mike, I was 19, and I don't think he realized how strong I was coming in. He was posting up, and I was like denying fundamental on this side and three-quarter, and just moved his arm out the way, light work. And then my elbow hit him in the ribs, cracked his ribs. And then so I broke his rib accidentally. Then he called me and said, don't worry about it, young fella. I know what they saying in the media, but I want you to come back. And then to play against him in the season, if you look at the pictures online, we always tangled up. If you look at me and Mike, Wizards versus the Bulls, that's how we played every day in Chicago. Every day. So it wasn't a thing where I was in awe. Like Mike is Mike to us. I got a chance to meet Mike. 3 times on the court in Chicago a lot of times. Then he invited me to his office in Chicago. I got a chance to sit with Mike.
That must have been cool.
Yeah, man, that's incredible, cool. Man. You kidding me? Yeah, I was in the office. He had the little poster when he hit the game winner. And he was talking about the poster. Yeah, you see their face? He said, it's not the shot. He said, look at their face. And then the last time I spoke to him was the brawl. He was the only player that called me.
Really?
Yep, Mike, MJ, man. I remember the call. He was like, I'm gonna try to get you back. So when he said I'm gonna get back, I was like, oh shit, I'm back. I'm like, all right, it don't even matter. February, March, good. But MJ, you ain't that powerful, man. I ain't never come back. They only had one Jordan player at the time. Only one person could wear Jordan on the team. I don't know if you remember. So I said, I'm playing against MJ, I need the Jordans. I was wearing Nike. I said, I need them Jordans. He was like, nah, Reggie Miller wearing the Jordans. I said, Reggie, can you tell these dudes to give me some Jordans? He's like, nah, you can't get Jordans. So I drove after shoot around, drove to Chicago, 3-hour ride. Went to the Nike store, bought some Jordans,
Really?
drove back. Yeah, you'll see Jordans on my feet playing against. I'm not gonna play against MJ without Jordans on. Yeah, y'all crazy, Nike. Y'all crazy, man. Just send me the Jordans.
The host of the podcast, Byron Scott, is a 3-time NBA champion with the Los Angeles Lakers during their Showtime era in the 1980s. Having played against MJ in his prime, Scott shares just how ruthless the GOAT was on the court.
MJ had a different mindset than any player I've ever played against. Yeah. MJ had and Kobe's the closest to it.
Yeah, Kobe was incredible.
MJ had I'ma kill you mindset. I'm gonna destroy you on the basketball court. I'm gonna beat you so bad you don't want to see me the next time you play
100%.
me. Yeah, that was his mindset.
100%.
And so when you said, throw LeBron in there, but yeah, MJ definitely, because MJ wanted to destroy you, but he loved that smoke. Like you said, if you could guard him, he got nothing but mad respect. You can't guard him, but you give him hell.
Yeah.
He got nothing but mad respect for you. You know what I'm saying?
And his defense was incredible.
His defense, man, Black Cat was off the chain.
Because when I was a kid, I would watch MJ. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do that on offense. But his defense, I'm like, hold on, this guy's an incredible defender.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I want to be like that on defense. So that was one of the inspirations on defense. It wasn't even really I never aspired to be like him on offense.
The 1995 NBA Eastern Conference semifinals featured the Magic facing off against the Bulls, marking Michael Jordan's return to playoff action after his 1993 retirement. However, the time away from basketball had seemingly taken a toll on MJ's sharpness, and it showed on the floor as the Magic won Game 1. Riding high on the win, Magic guard Nick Anderson confidently quipped, "45 isn't 23," referring to Jordan's New Jersey number. Despite the Bulls' determined effort, the Magic won the series 4-2 and advanced to the NBA Finals, where they fell to the Houston Rockets. But for MJ, this was just the beginning of the story, as he sought redemption the following year. Here's how Magic guard at the time, Darrell Armstrong, broke down those events.
I did not know. Nick Anderson said he wasn't the same. 45 is not 23. Oh, Lord. I would have said, man, y'all, you don't shut the fuck up. What is you doing? You don't get this man no feel. What is you doing? So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. Jordan's trainer, like, when you want to start? He said, tomorrow, lifting weights. And he said, all he kept thinking was Orlando. Man, they played us there was Shaq last time in Orlando. They played us, they swept us. But I never forget this, and you can go back and look at the stat sheet. Horace couldn't do nothing, put his head down and just laugh. It was on the free throw line right in front of us. Jordan, Scotty was talking shit. Boy, Jordan had 2 free throws at the end of the game. He hit the first one and missed the second one on purpose. And we was like, what the fuck you doing, Somebody said, look at the scoreboard. He left 45 on the scoreboard. Jordan petty in the motherfucker. He left 45 for last year on the scoreboard.
In the 90s, being an NBA player meant competing in the shadow of the Bulls' unmatched dominance, led by MJ. From intense practices to MJ's alleged mind games, the Bulls did whatever it took to win 6 NBA titles. Not everyone viewed Jordan's approach positively. Knicks coach at the time, Jeff Van Gundy, once claimed that MJ was a con man who used fake friendships to gain a competitive edge over opponents. According to Van Gundy, Jordan would befriend rival players to make them let their guard down, only to dominate them on the court the next game. Jordan didn't take the comment lightly, responding with a 51-point performance against Van Gundy's Knicks and some mid-game trash talk to make sure his message was clear. Now, years later, Van Gundy reflects on the greatness of Michael Jordan during an episode of the Mark Jackson podcast.
The best player in any one game to win it, if you had to put all the marbles to state it, there's a lot of ones that you could go with, but my personal one I would take Jordan to win one game. I think the combination of athleticism, skill, will was something, people used to ask, like, what was the name of that special, that ESPN thing they did on him, what was the name of that? Last Dance, right?
Yeah.
They said, you watched The Last Dance. I said, no, I lived it. And so because, he got 55, like, against, he had a double nickel coming back off baseball. 10 days later, against the best defense in basketball, back when the rules were not conducive to offensive play, right? there was no freedom of movement. There was freedom to get your head handed to you if you came through the line, right? He got 55 against the New York Knicks on the road and hit Winnington when we doubled late with a Luka Doncic special, like go up and at the last minute, find somebody, and he found Winnington. And so, like, I never seen anything quite like that. Like, guy goes off and plays baseball for 2 years. Hey, I want to play basketball again. 10 days later, he's getting 55 in the Garden. It's like, what's happening here? So I would go with him in any one game.
Only 4 players in league history were teammates with both MJ and LeBron. One of them is the Tar Heel center, Brendan Haywood, who played with Jordan in his rookie season. Here is his take on the GOAT debate.
Boy, stop playing. Don't do it. Come on now. if anybody in the Carolina family doesn't say that MJ is number one, they're excommunicado. Come on now. MJ's the greatest ever. Come on. Stop.
Yeah, he is.
This man is MVP, Defensive Player of the Year.
That's insane.
He's MVP, first team all defense, finals MVP, and leading the league in scoring all in the same year.
Yeah. That's insane.
Only been done 4 times, all MJ. Say that again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
First team all defense, MVP of the regular season, MVP of the finals, lead the league in scoring. Only been done 4 times. MJ, and MJ.
Damn.
That's the greatest of all time.
That's how you end the debate with these young guys that want to talk about LeBron. That's how you end the debate with him right there. It was great playing with Mike because I got to see why he was Mike. You think, a lot of times people think great players are great because they just roll out of bed and they're great. And for him, it was like, nah, the work ethic was crazy. At 40 years old, 39 years old, he done proved everything. He's still in the gym before everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he's there with Tim Grover lifting early, getting up shots, like footwork is impeccable. Had a young dude on our team by the name of Bobby Simmons. Bobby used to just all the footwork stuff that MJ was teaching, like, yo, you read him this way. Like, yo, when you jab this way, like everything he did was calculated. I was watching when he was teaching Bobby.
Yeah.
Obviously, he wasn't teaching me none of that stuff. I couldn't do nothing with it. But he was teaching Bobby, like, yo, when you jab, you read this way. He drops his foot this way, you counter with this. And so I started seeing this ain't by accident. He's reading your body move. He's reading your body language. Oh, you drop that top foot. I know I'm going here. That defense rotates. I know I'm getting to this fade. Like, up and unders, all that. And it's just like seeing how much work he put in, how calculated he was, and then the competitive nature. I mean, he didn't want to lose nothing. The young dudes in the league that were coming into the league grew up watching MJ. Like, MJ would be at the jump ball, and he could sense it. Our point guard was like Chris Whitney, like, yo, see Whit, let me get it early tonight. Young fellas in all. Like, you'll see certain guys, they looking at it.
He in all. I got him.
But because he'll see a young fella looking at the shoes, the leg brace, like looking them up and down. Like, he could tell, like, certain dudes want smoke.
Yeah.
And then there's certain dudes that's looking around like, oh my God, it's MJ. And MJ's cold-blooded. If you're looking at him like that, he can sense it, and he's going to try to take your heart out.
The story of LeBradford Smith and Michael Jordan is a classic in basketball circles. In short, after a rough shooting night, MJ invented a story about Smith disrespecting him to fuel his competitive fire for their next matchup. It worked, and Jordan delivered a dominant performance. Here's how MJ's Bulls teammate BJ Armstrong broke it down.
He had just an awful game versus the Washington Bullets. And I think he missed like 18, 19 shots in a row. I was just so impressed with his confidence, Jimmy, that he didn't hesitate. The confidence that this man had, Jimmy, was beyond. But this particular game, after the game, he wasn't happy at all. And he was, normally he's bubbly, he's playing cards, he's this, whatever. He's being MJ. But this night, he was just sitting in the back. So I thought, hey, let me just go check on this guy. And I just said, hey, man, how you doing? You all right? You good? Just checking on you. He was in the back. Everybody else is whatever, doing what they do. And he was like, yeah, I'm good. And I remember he told me, he said, whatever that kid had in the first half, I'm going to have that in the first half.
Whatever
that kid did the game, whatever that kid did in the first game, I'm going to have that in the first half. The confidence to say that, Jimmy, was like, man, I just watched you miss 19 shots in a row. Like, the confidence was there. You know what I mean? Like, you can't coach that. You can't duplicate that. Either you have that or not. I was so impressed with the 20th shot when he finally made a shot. Because I remember what he said. He was like, okay, B, I'm good now. This man had a confidence that was just beyond. And he wasn't talking it. He believed it. He believed in himself. He believed in what he, the work he had put in. But more importantly, he just had a self-awareness that you can't imagine. And that's what I admired most about him. And even when you talk to him today, he still has that level of confidence. And it's the funniest thing, because now we're all old, but he still has the confidence that he had as a young man. And that is what I give to this generation. Never lose confidence in yourself by the work you put in.
Baron Davis was one of the most electrifying point guards from the 2000s, making a name for himself while playing for the Charlotte Hornets and later for the Golden State Warriors. With his combination of skills, size, and explosiveness, Davis was a walking highlight reel. In an interview for the Draymond Green podcast, he remembers one specific game in which he wasn't the show's main star, but the legendary Michael Jordan put on a show for the ages.
You know, he came into Charlotte and it was like that was the craziest shit I'd ever seen. There was no camera phones, but it was all kind of camera flashing. And felt like everybody was recording with a camera phone. That's how many cameras was flashing when he went to the free throw line. I had 32 that night. And in my mind, I was like, damn, bro, like I'm Michael Jordan tonight. You know what I mean? And then we go on the road and we're playing the Washington Wizards. We like, man, we about to go in here. We about to pop them again. I'm about to give me another, I'm about to give me another 25, 12. I'm going to do it different on the road. And I watched this dude in the first quarter score 17 points.
Oh, he went off.
Draymond, I watched. I was not participating, bro. I was so mesmerized. I was guarding T. Lou. Hey, if you watch the clips, you'll see me. Never help. Never help. And the coach called a timeout. He like, yo, what the hell y'all doing? Y'all just gonna let this man get cooked? It was Lee Nagland. I said, damn, bro, my bad. I was just watching. Like I was just watching. I got your help. I was like, man, I got your help. Let me get him. So I guard him the first time. I know he going to the fade. So boom, he go to the fade and I'm on top of the fade. He go to fade. I'm like, man, get that shit. And he leaned back, dripping like another inch to shoot the ball. Wham!
Jordan against Barron. 43.
Okay. All right. Man, I got this fool. He go to the post again. Well, I know this shit coming. You about to turn to the middle. Whoop. Turn to the middle. Oh, up and under. Layup. Hey, somebody else get this. I'm going back over here with T. Lou. I'm about to watch. I'm cool. This is not cool. Hey, dude. That's what, and you see somebody like Mike like that, and LeBron, like it's the same thing. It's like, be careful, because they gonna remember. But that Mike story was like, damn, dude, like I'm just watching him. I'm like, damn, dude, what kind of cologne you got? Like, what kind of cologne? This nigga smell good as shit out here. Whatever it was, Michael Jordan was he was like an enigma, dude. He was it was just like, oh shit.
MJ is still widely considered the GOAT thanks to his legendary NBA career, which included 6 championships and an unbeaten record in the NBA Finals. While those achievements are often cited as reasons for his greatness, Gilbert Arenas believes MJ earned the GOAT title even before all of that.
As players, we're factoring in our numbers, right? Our rings, and saying, no, that we should be able, I have leading title, I beat him in every stat. Why y'all not putting me in front of him? The answer is, he was the NBA. When Bird and Magic was, battling, and when Jordan came in, what they seen was a whole different animal, right? You're seeing something that is different, moves different, talks different, approaches the game different, swag, phenomenal, right? This is the best thing we've seen, right? I don't give a fuck what he does. This is the best player we've ever seen. Right? It was the eye test. People don't realize that he got the logo in '88. Right? They took the wings off and say, you got Jordan. Right? So that whole campaign, and that is considered the greatest individual year anybody could have had. That's when he became the best player ever. There was no ring. There was no, rings is just what they get to use now. 6, it was just the way he did it. He carried what we have now solo mission.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to beat solo mission with stats.
MJ and Lakers legend James Worthy shared the court as teammates for one season at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Together, they led the Tar Heels to an NCAA championship. During a recent appearance on the Byron Scott podcast, Worthy reflected on his short but unforgettable time playing alongside Jordan. He admitted it didn't take long for the young guard to surpass him as the better college player.
I was with Michael. He was a freshman my junior year. We only had 4 or 5 months together, really.
Yeah. Right.
But, you know, like the story I tell about Michael, man, I was better than him for about 3 weeks. And I enjoyed those 3 weeks. Because I saw something in that boy that he didn't have it quite yet. He was learning, but he would seek out the best in everything. Chess, backgammon, he won. And if he lost, he was irately mad. Like he just won a game, like he lost a game 7. So we practiced, 2.5 hours. We running them sprints. And you're tired. Now you got to go to study hall. I'm trying to get off the floor. Here he comes, pushing me. Where you going, young fella? Where you going? You scared? So he always wanted to play a little one-on-one. So we played a little bit. And he was just a bad boy.
In 1995, John Sally joined MJ on the Chicago Bulls after years of competing against him as a member of the Detroit Pistons. Having experienced MJ both as a rival and a teammate, Sally brought plenty of incredible Jordan stories to share during his appearance on the Byron Scott podcast.
Ron Harper used to give Michael the numbers. The people
When he was
don't
healthy?
know that. When he was healthy,
Ooh.
MJ, we're in a practice, and Phil said, tell him to go home, and he didn't know why, and he waited. And he was like, all right, we're playing for minutes, scrimmage for minutes. And MJ came in, nah, you ain't putting me out. And he had on regular tennis shoes. They looked like Vans, but they were Nike. And he had his sweats cut and rolled at the bottom. He thought he was fly. He wasn't. You don't say nothing to the Messiah. He was like, yeah, put all the Pistons on that team, Wood Harp, and put Randy Brown over there. And Harp was pissed. And all of a sudden, I'm running back, and MJ gets a steal. And I go, and he's about to do the right-hand jump. I said, oh, I know exactly what dunk you're going to try. I'm getting this. I don't care. And I drop step and turn around and about to jump. And as I'm about to jump, his midsection is moving past my face. And you try to bring yourself down. He was like, block this, bitch. Boom. And I'm like, I take the ball out, boom. I'm staying in the hotel behind the facility. So I would jump the fence. And I go home, I call my mother. She's like, how is it? I said, Ma, I just saw the greatest player of all time. She said, it took you that long to admit it. I go, yeah, it took me this long to admit it. But I just saw him playing tennis shoes, no tape, no knee brace, no wristband, sweatpants on, t-shirt, and a practice jersey, and thought he was in the finals against us. Like he literally thought he was reliving the 80s. And I was like, yeah, this dude is on next level. He is. And we would go out to play against somebody, and MJ coming, everybody's happy to see him, but even in the back when you're about to put your hands together, he was hella intense.
Yeah.
He was the last to come out. So we would all run out, and then MJ would be the last. That would scare. If you looking down there, you go, oh my God, MJ. Oh, here come the devil now.
Yeah, you hope he wasn't going on,
yes, right? He was, and my locker was here at the United Center, and he was right here. And I would watch him put his sock up, and then look at this sock, and then had to be the same height. And then he would, everything had to, like he was a gladiator. And I was like, I don't even think people realize how psycho this dude is. All you gotta do, pull his shirt out a little bit, it's gonna piss him off. It needs to be tucked perfectly. Just mess up his outfit. That's the only way to stop him, to make him think about anything else but destroying you. And his mentality was destroy you.
Yeah.
Demean you. Finish you. Shouldn't even be on court. It's the best thought in the world.
For life.
Yeah.
When every time you face him, he wanted to make you feel like, man, I ain't got nothing, I can't do nothing with this dude. I don't even want to play tonight. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to make you quit.
Do you ever see Coach when he's standing there with his arm folded when he was a Laker coach? That's what he wanted you to do. I want to go home. I want to go home right now.
I know a lot of guys who played against him that wanted to go home too. It was like, man, I'm gonna foul him just so you can put me on the bench. I ain't got to play against him. I mean, there were some guys that just didn't want to play with him. Yeah, they didn't want to play against him. He really did want. And I would tell people this all the time. Spotty, they was like, so how was it guarding Michael Jordan? I said, well, the way I guarded Michael is I'm gonna play back. I'm gonna make him shoot jump shots. I said, but the other thing is, every time he hit a shot, I was like, man, good shot, MJ. That's a hell of a shot, dog. I'm right there. I said, if you kill him with kindness, I said, but if you talk shit, just one little word, you might have, man, that's all he needs.
DeMar DeRozan is a 6-time All-Star and one of the NBA's elite mid-range scorers. He has modeled his game around the same principles MJ employed playing with the Wizards, relying on skill, footwork, and basketball IQ to outsmart defenders. By studying Jordan's ability to dominate without relying on athleticism, DeRozan has maintained his effectiveness on the court, even as he moves into the later stages of his career. For DeRozan, MJ's time with the Wizards stands as a masterclass in how to extend one's career and remain a top-tier player through fundamentals and mental toughness.
If you sit and just watch Wizards Jordan and see how incredible he was from 38 to 40 years old, the way he scored the ball, the way he was able to create his shots from the post, from the elbow, off one dribble, off two dribbles, stop, pull up, how physical he was in the post, how he was able to create contact and still get to the basket. He wasn't athletic like he was, but still being able to, finish over guys. It was so incredible because it was such a master of art, how simple he just made the game. It's just playing off jab steps, pump fakes. And I used to watch every bit of Wizards Jordan because it was like, if he doing this at this age, let me figure out how to master these things that he doing, because you don't see everybody doing it. Everybody want to do the dribble, double step back, all that. And it's like, nah, let me make the game simple and kill these spots and angles and using my body on the fadeaways, either shoulder. So that's one thing that I took from Wizards Mike, because he was incredible. If you really watch him, he was incredible, man. Yeah. On a bad knee. If you just go back and watch Mike with the Wizards, he was cold.
One player his airness has a close relationship with is the 3-time 6th Man of the Year winner, Jamal Crawford. The GOAT was a fan of Crawford's game since he entered the league in 2000 and played for the Chicago Bulls. As the years passed, Jamal witnessed some spectacular plays from MJ, especially in the many summer runs he played wherein Mike was his teammate. On Podcast P, Crawford shared how Jordan left everyone's jaws on the floor with a sensational play he pulled off when he was 40 years old.
And it's so weird. There's probably 2 or 3 times in my life where I felt my game jump up, like a level or two. And that was one of those times. And I was playing off of him. He's the guy, but I literally, I don't know for a fact, but it felt like I hit 80% of my shots off of him that summer. I felt my game going to a whole nother level, and it was making its way around the thing. Man, that little Bulls guard, because I hadn't done shit yet. But man, that Bulls guard can go. I'm telling you, that Bulls guard can go. But I'm playing off of him, right? And so I remember one time I threw a full court. I'm like, oh, as soon as I let it go, I'm like, oh shit, I threw that too far. Man, this man at 40 years old, he jumped up with one hand.
Yeah.
He dribbled the ball and dunked with one hand. I was like, oh shit. It looked like some Bulls. I'm like, oh, This is crazy.
Facing Michael Jordan was the toughest challenge for guards in the 1980s and 1990s. Just the thought of going head-to-head with the Bulls legend was enough to intimidate most players, many admitting they had nightmares about playing against the 6-time NBA champion. But for Vernon Maxwell, it wasn't nightmares that kept him up. It was the sheer anticipation of facing the 5-time MVP that left him unable to sleep the night before their matchups.
Well, your ass better get some sleep the night before. I'm gonna tell you now, that's one motherfucker right there. Now, I used to go lay down and elevate my fucking feet above my heart. Like my mom used to say, put your feet above your heart, baby, before you play him. It gonna bring some energy back to you. So I'm country boy, so I used to lift my eyes and do it damn what my mom used to say. That's the only motherfucker I used to stay home. My wife used to be glad for that. when Mike come in town, because I really never used to stay home.
Yeah.
My wife used to be glad when Mike come to town. She said, oh, this nigga, look at his ass now, because Mike in here. Look at this nigga now, he gonna lay his ass down now. And yeah, because this Black Jesus, man. That's why I call him, man, the best player I ever played against, man. I mean, it's no comparison.
Phil Jackson is regarded as one of the best, if not the best, head coaches of all time. After all, Jackson was at the helm of two of the most legendary dynasties in NBA history, the Chicago Bulls of the 1990s and the Los Angeles Lakers in the 2000s, where he had the opportunity to coach a young and up-and-coming Kobe Bryant alongside one of the most physically dominant players of all time, Shaquille O'Neal. However, when asked which of the players he coached Phil would start his franchise with, the legendary coach wasted no time providing a clear answer.
Michael Jordan has got to be the first pick. He was extremely coachable.
Mark Jackson's first year in the NBA was MJ's best season ever. Many consider Jordan's 1987-88 campaign to be the greatest year ever by an NBA player. In that season, MJ led the league in scoring, steals, and minutes played. He won the dunk contest at the All-Star break and went on to become the first player in NBA history to win both the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year awards in the same season. Jordan was so unstoppable that year that opposing teams had to be creative in finding ways to contain him, even if that meant going the extra mile. Here's what the young Mark Jackson and the Knicks tried to pull off.
He was a different level. He was an absolute different level. Playing against him in the league. So we're playing the Bulls. I never told this story. I was benched, so we're playing the Bulls. So I get a call the night before. We'll play some cards and hang out, whatever, just chill. I go into the city, go to Mike's room, play cards. I'm not playing. I know I'm benched, so I'm playing cards. I'm doing my job. I'm gonna keep them up all night. We playing cards all night. So shoot around is at 10 in the morning. We finish playing at 8. I gotta now drive so I'm not late. So I get no sleep. I drive to SUNY Purchase practice facility. We practice. Game that night. I take a quick nap. Gotta hit the road. Game in the garden. I'm sitting on the bench. I am tired. I'm sitting there like this dude got 50. How is this dude still surviving? But he did it to everybody and every single night.
Kobe Bryant's career has often been defined by comparisons to MJ, and not without reason. From his earliest days in the league, Kobe sought to emulate the man he regarded as the ultimate player. His relentless drive, signature moves, and competitive spirit mirrored those of the GOAT, earning him the moniker, the next MJ. For someone who idolized the Chicago Bulls guard, he didn't just want to play like him, he wanted to become him. However, according to the great Penny Hardaway, there was one interesting area the two were much different.
Kobe, being a fearless warrior and champion who mimicked his game after MJ. And what MJ had over Kobe was so different, or I should say Kobe's approach versus MJ's approach. MJ was like, I'm giving all y'all at 70. Like, if I go to Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, he did that 50-50-50, I don't know how, 2 or 3 times in his career. Think about going 50-50-50, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas. What Kobe did when he had problems was, I'm marking Penny Hardaway down on my list. I'm marking Baron Davis down on my list. I'm putting Gary Payton on my list. I'm putting all these top dudes on my list, and I'm going to knock them off one by one. MJ never said, I ain't doing none of that. I'm just coming in and I'm killing y'all. So Kobe had to start off a little slower. Rookie year, he kind of struggled a little bit. Beat a year in L.A. And then you knew he was coming, though. But he made this list of names, and boy, did he scratch off all. He scratched all the names off that list.
It didn't take much to push Michael Jordan to Destroyer of Worlds mode. Sometimes all you had to do was exist. Just ask LeBradford Smith. The COVID-19 pandemic shut everything down for a few months. Times were tough for everybody, and many folks wondered if things would ever get back to normal. The one positive outcome of the shutdown during the pandemic would be that this was the moment the world discovered what happens when Michael Jordan takes something personal. The highly anticipated The Last Dance came out on April 19, 2020, and it took over the world by storm. Young basketball fans who never got a chance to watch Jordan play had their chance to witness the greatness of the GOAT. And one of those traits was when someone upset his airness. It was March 19, 1993, and the Washington Bullets were in Chicago getting ready to play the two-time defending champion Bulls. Nobody figured the Bullets would have a shot to win, and in fact, they didn't. The Bulls defeated the Bullets 104-99, but the attention from the media after the game wasn't directed toward a Bull. Even in the loss, second-year man LeBradford Smith, out of the University of Louisville, had himself a game. Despite the fact his team lost, Smith scored a career-high 37 points on 15 for 20 from the field and 7 for 7 from the free throw line. Not only did Smith go off in the game, but he also did it against the greatest player of all time. And while Smith was firing on all cylinders, Jordan struggled from the field. Jordan scored 25 points on just 9 of 27 from the field. It was one of those rare off days for Jordan, which normally would have gone unnoticed since the Bulls won. But since Smith had his career game, this became a big deal, and Smith knew it. LeBradford Smith was trying to tell the reporters at postgame to not make a big deal out of it, Will Perdue said in an episode of the Bulls Talk podcast back in May 2020.
Because it was a career high, they basically wanted him to say things, and he kind of was hoping that they would kind of brush it aside and be like, oh, heck, I got lucky, but they wanted to make a big deal about, yo, man, you scored a career high on Michael Jordan. Knowing we were playing them the next night, knowing what MJ is like. And the interesting thing was, I remember the next day, there really was, I know they mentioned something about Michael said, this is what I'm going to do. But it was more about, we were talking in the locker room about just when Michael gets the ball, just get the hell out of the way. Because he's just going to go at LeBradford time and time again. And it was kind of like an unwritten rule that everybody knows that Michael has that stat sheet in his back pocket, in his sock. He knows exactly how many points LeBradford scored, and he wants to get that many or more in the first half.
That was going to be Jordan's plan for the next game against the Bullets, which just so happened to be the next night in Washington. Jordan was going to score, in the first half, what Smith scored total in the last game. It's been reported that after the game on March 19th, Smith approached Jordan as they walked off the court and said, "Nice game, Mike." As The Last Dance revealed, Smith never said this to Jordan. In fact, Jordan made it up in his head as a way to get himself motivated.
A couple of writers went up to Michael and said, "Did this ever happen?" And Michael was, with a smile, just like, "No, I made it up."
Jordan would play with a sense of motivation only he seemed to bring to the court. In the first half, Jordan jumped all over Smith, hitting from all angles. Jordan started the game shooting 8 of 8 from the field, and he wouldn't stop shooting. There was nothing the Bullets could do or anyone on planet Earth to stop Jordan in this first half. Jordan's mission of scoring in the first half of what Smith scored in the last game nearly happened. With about 2 seconds remaining in the first half, Jordan went to the line to shoot 2 free throws. He sank the first one, which gave him 36 in the half. The second free throw bounced out, and Jordan finished one shy of Smith's previous performance. Jordan didn't play much in the second half as the Bulls were destroying the Bullets. The Bulls won the game by a score of 126 to 101. Jordan ended up with 47 points on 16 for 27 shooting, including 2 for 2 from three-point land. Smith, on the other hand, scored only 15 while shooting 5 for 12 from the field. LeBradford Smith learned a valuable lesson on that night. Whether it was his fault or not, never anger the GOAT because he will take it personally. Decades later, we learned, MJ in his imagination had no limits when he felt a revenge is needed. During his time on the hardwood, Michael Jordan had no problem making his feeling known. His airness, after all, was the man who punched Steve Kerr in practice, called his own teammate a loser, and compared Reggie Miller's defense to chicken fighting a woman. Then, in a category of his own, sat Jerry Krause. While it was no secret that Jordan and the Bulls' general manager didn't see eye to eye, their rocky relationship apparently dated back to a single moment. During the 1985 NBA campaign, MJ lost his innocence thanks to a single comment from the man he later called Crumbs. While Jordan enjoyed a phenomenal rookie year, he suffered a setback the following campaign. The sophomore broke his foot in the Bulls' third game, sidelining him for most of that campaign. Being the fierce competitor that he was, MJ wanted to play through the pain. As we saw during The Last Dance, though, doctors were concerned that he had a minor chance of ruining his career. The Bulls' caution won out, and Jordan only returned for a handful of games at the end of the season. "I'm the only one who has told him no," general manager Jerry Krause told Sports Illustrated's Rick Telander in 1993. "When he had the broken foot back in 1985, I told him he couldn't play. This kid has had his butt kissed by everybody in the world except his parents and me. If we listened to him, we'd have former Tar Heel guard Buzz Peterson on the team. My goal is not to be his friend. My goal is to win titles." While Krause's comments seem fairly reasonable, if a bit heavy-handed, they still changed Jordan's perspective on the game of basketball. Krause told him he couldn't play, Telander explained. For Jordan, it wasn't just what Krause said, it was also the way he said it, coldly. He said, "You're Bulls' property now, and we tell you what to do." MJ was a young, enthusiastic kid, and that just made him realize this was a business, not a game.
Do you think that there's something to this business of wanting a better position, getting in the lottery?
I hope not. I mean, that just shows a losing attitude, and not just on the team, but in the front office also. We should always go out and try to win.
Jordan admitted the two never hit it off after that. As a member of the Bulls, his airness didn't hide his dislike of the general manager. He nicknamed Krause Crumbs.
Michael and Scotty were both so disrespectful to this man, but there were times when really I felt like Jerry deserved it. He just, he wanted to be one of the club, and he just wasn't going to be, Scott. And so he decided, well, then I'm going to break up the club. Jerry Krause wanted those players to love him. They didn't. They used to call him Crumbs because he'd have a muffin or something, and all the crumbs would spill down his shirt.
Even in retirement, MJ didn't let the grudge die. During his 2009 induction into the Basketball Hall of Fame, Jordan told the assembled crowd that he didn't invite Krause to be present.
Jerry Krause is right there, and Jerry's not here. Obviously, I don't know who invited him. I didn't, but I hope he understands. I hope he understands it goes a long way, and he was a very competitive person. I was a very competitive person. He said organization wins championships. I said, I didn't see organization playing with the flu in Utah. I didn't see him playing with the bad ankle.
In reality, the general manager chose to boycott the ceremony to call attention to the fact that Tex Winter, the man who invented the triangle offense, hadn't earned a place in Springfield. That detail, however, didn't matter to his airness, and he still made his old foe the butt of one last joke. When Michael Jordan handpicked Carmelo Anthony to be the face of the Jordan brand in 2003, they built an instant connection. Melo has just won the 2003 Naismith Award, the Wooden Award, and the Rupp Trophy. He led the Syracuse Orange to the 2003 NCAA Men's Division I basketball tournament championship, where he was named the tournament's most outstanding player. It was just natural for MJ to pick Anthony as the face of his first-class brand. As Jordan's brand first signature athlete, Anthony got to experience being mentored by the six-time champion to the point of visiting and training with MJ in Chicago. For Anthony, it was an enlightening experience that helped him reach another level on the basketball court.
For him to sign me at 19 years old to represent his brand, I was the first signature athlete under the Jordan brand. When I signed with him, I knew he had my back. For him to take that chance with me, I knew he had my back. I was having a hard time with like certain players in the game, certain situations in the game, figuring out how to beat certain defenses. And I went to MJ for that. I went to spend 2 weeks, a week and a half with MJ in Chicago.
Anthony recalls spending 2 weeks with Jordan in Chicago, where they trained every day at 6 in the morning. This was when the 10-time All-Star truly learned how to break down film, as Jordan taught him how to attack defensive coverages and why it was vital to pay attention to the little details happening on the court. The lesson of watching film was what helped Anthony expand his 20-year career.
We trained every morning, 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, but it was more the conversations that we had. The way he broke film down to me. Like, I ain't know how to watch film. He broke it down to me. Watch it like this, do that. Why would you do it? Questioning me. Then he was like, taught me really how to break down the art of scoring the basketball. And I'm like, man, I already know how to put the ball in. That's what I do. But he was like, nah, I'm gonna give you the mental part of it.
Aside from watching film, Jordan also taught Anthony the importance of picking his spots when scoring the basketball and why it was necessary to pace himself. Jordan made Anthony realize that if he wanted to be a lethal scorer, he had to develop the mental aspect of his game. After Anthony followed Jordan's advice, he had one of the best scoring seasons in his career.
He said, how much you want to average? He said, you average about 28 right now. I said, yeah. He said, here's an easy way to go get it. 7 points a quarter. He said, break down 7 points in a quarter. That's 2 layups, maybe a 3, a layup, 2 free throws, a 3. You might get hot 1 quarter. You might have 11, 12, 13 1 quarter. Now in the second quarter, you can pace. As long as you get your 14 in 2 quarters.
Right.
So I'm like, dang, you just broke, that's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm thinking about that in the games. That next season, I averaged almost 30.
Right.
But I'm thinking about like what he's telling me. Like, I ain't got to go get it as much as I really want to go get it.
Right.
as fast as I want to go.
Right.
You just slow the game down.
Right.
And that was probably the best advice that he's ever gave me.
Melo continued to tell how he once trash-talked the GOAT, which as always had a great comeback when he took things personally.
Like he knows certain of us, you know, that we go back at him. Like we'll talk our shit to him.
Right.
But then he gets to start talking about winning and you know what I'm saying, rings and shit. That's
Right.
that's his defense memechanism.
Right.
Just throw your ring. Come on, Mike. Don't
Right.
wear
But
that shit, man.
what's the example of something you just said to Mike? Like, yeah, I'd have cooked your ass.
You was
back
too
then.
small. Like
You told
we
him
used
that?
to, we talk shit. He told me he'd have made me run around the game. I was out of shape, shit like that. You out of shape, man. You don't get tired chasing me. He used to say shit like that. He was just, I tell him, man, you too small. You was light.
Right.
You light the ass, man. You light the ass, bro.
Anthony and MJ grew up to have a big relationship, and Anthony never hesitated to call Jordan the greatest of all time despite his close friendship with LeBron James. Now Melo is starting a new chapter in his life after retiring from the game. He will go down as one of the best scorers of all time who only missed one thing in his resume. Michael Jordan wasn't only the most competitive player in NBA history, but one of the most competitive people somebody could run into. The Chicago Bulls legend was always trying to find any advantage he could get over his rivals, even playing mind games while trying to bring them down. MJ is now considered one of the biggest trash talkers in NBA history. And even though he took inspiration from Larry Bird, Jordan took it to the next level, trash talking everybody he competed against. No matter the activity or what was at stake, he was going in. Not even his kids were safe from it. And during an old interview, Jeffrey revealed that his dad was still a vicious trash talker and didn't care about who was in front of him. He was always trying to get under other people's skin.
It got to a point with him and my youngest, they're such competitors, and so am I.
It gets heated?
So, do it. Do it. You know, it gets to a point where he's more agile, he's more versatile, so he can do all the moving around on the court. Me, I want to limit my motion. That means I'm gonna start backing in.
Make a smaller court.
A smaller court, and it gets to a point where, you know, he starts talking trash, Marcus starts talking trash, and then my game elevates, you know.
Of course, he starts talking trash as well.
I do. It never ends. It ends
You
when I
can't
finish.
even not be competitive with your own kids.
Oh, I can.
Yeah?
I just don't play.
Have you beaten him? Yes. I'll put it on the record. Yes. We played.
Ask him how many times.
One time. We don't play that much. When I beat my dad at golf for the first time, there was no one happier about it than my dad. It didn't thrill you that much?
No.
Michael Jordan was a fierce competitor, and he never tried to hide that. Not even his kids were safe from that, but that was just MJ's personality, as we covered in this channel before. Even in his older days, in his 40s and 50s, MJ used to smoke his Bobcats and Hornets players on the practice floor and then talk smack to them.
So I was playing in Charlotte, right? The first year I got there, we got to the playoffs for the first time. And so MJ loved me for that alone.
Right.
But when I first got there, it was kind of rocky. So we got our ass beat by somebody. And he came in the locker room after the game just going off on us like we need to get our shit together, right? And I made some little comment or something like that. He ain't say nothing. So he came and practiced the next day. Back on that shit. Yeah, y'all think y'all did something? I'm 6. Oh, he started talking about all his accolades. Take my shoes off. Because, he had gave me his, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't just talking to me. He was talking because everybody had his shoes off, but he had gave me a deal and all that.
Yeah.
This shit kind of directed to me and Gerald Wallace because we the leaders of the team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he going off.
Mike told you take his fucking shoes off.
Damn near. You know what I'm saying? Look at all the shit I done done. Y'all I'm just going off on us right to the point where he gets on the second team in practice. And we lose.
You lying. You ain't losing 50-year-old.
Mike's
suited up. How old was Mike?
Listen, nigga, this was in 2010.
Mike suited up?
Dog, whatever he had on, he came out there, got on, pushed against the guard, whoever Gerald Wallace was guarding, the 3 guard, kicked him out and got in that spot and played with the second team. My second team wasn't scrubs now. Oh, he scored a couple points, and to the point where he talked so much shit afterwards, he grabbed the ball and went dunk one on the way out.
Jordan is arguably the biggest legend in NBA history. He considered the greatest of all time by many, and you don't get to that without having the mindset he had during his entire career. MJ was feared by his peers, and there was nothing they could do to change that. His airness was a different animal, and everybody knew that. Tell us in the comments what is your favorite Michael Jordan trash talk story. And if you enjoy this video, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. For even more basketball content, subscribe to our other channels, Free Dawkins and Vintage Dawkins, and follow us on social media.
It's crazy how iron sharpens iron when it comes to greatness in sports, and how the best always seem to gravitate towards each other regardless of their particular mastered craft. Amazingly, two elite athletes, considered by many to be the greatest of all time at their profession, managed to attend the exact same university for college. In the spring of 1981, Lawrence Taylor left UNC after 2 seasons and was selected second overall in the NFL draft by the New York Giants. In that very first season, not only did LT win the Defensive Rookie of the Year, but also he won the DPOY amongst all NFL players, a feat only Taylor has ever achieved in the league. LT would frequently return to his alma mater in his rookie season, as it was a place that he was very comfortable and could get away from the bright lights of New York City. That fall, an 18-year-old Michael Jordan was stepping foot on the North Carolina campus for the very first time. He was joining a star-studded UNC basketball team with players like James Worthy and Sam Perkins, and was being coached by future Hall of Famer Dean Smith. But what really helped MJ his freshman season in Carolina was when LT would return and join pickup games with the team, essentially to play nothing but defense on the electric youngster. LT went on All the Smoke to talk with the guys about facing MJ before the trophies, commercials, rings, and aura were established for either all-time great, and how that friendship and competitive camaraderie has continued for over 40 years.
Sean, what do you remember about the pickup games in North Carolina on the basketball court? I was in school with some.
Let me tell you something. Hey, look, back in the day, we used to go out there and we play, and remember for the intermediate. Yeah, we won the championship because we was disqualified because we cheated. But hey, no, we didn't really cheat. One of our players, he wasn't actually in school. Okay, they used a technicality against us. But I used to go out there and play with all the boys. I mean, Jordan, Worthy, all those guys. I used to go out there and play. And
what was your hoop game like? Huh? What was your game like, though?
Well, see, the problem is I couldn't hit nothing from like feet, but 31. Yeah. And they used to say, listen, well, I could shoot the ball. I'm always, and I'm decent in defense. I only got mad because they only give you 6 fouls.
Oh, shit. Can you imagine this motherfucker guarding you?
Getting more than 6 fouls?
I need more than 6 fouls.
Imagine you having more than 6 fouls.
LT is on me, I'm passing that bitch. Cut it out. Someone else do something.
I love the years at Carolina. I think it's one of the best schools far as getting people and whole
preparing you for life.
Yeah. Cause I've been to a lot of shit. I did a lot of shit at Carolina.
To your friendship, obviously, you got a good relationship with Michael Jordan. But how did that start? How is it? And what are those golf matches like? I know you guys both being very competitive.
Well, Mike went. My senior year, not my senior, right after my rookie year in the Giants. Mike came to school that year, so I came back to finish up school that summer. And so he was playing with the team, practicing with the team, and the coach's name, Smith, allowed me to practice with him, right? He allowed me to practice. And Mike was always, every time I turned around, he just said, hey, call it foul. Like, just hit you a little bit. Come on, man. So every time Mike had the ball, I wanted to guard Mike because
you was a pain freak, huh?
Because
Mike know Mike was dropping you off.
Yeah, he gonna drop me off, but listen, he gonna drop me off with a little something in his day. I'm gonna throw something at him. I mean, I'm saying I'm a fair player. I'm just saying I'm a player. That's it. I'm not saying this, but we used to have a great time doing that. He is truly. He's one of the best I've had. But I'm the best when it comes to fouling, though.
Yeah, wouldn't doubt that.
Could you dunk?
You can't ask that question. Can I dunk?
You was a flyer?
How you want it?
Really?
How you want it?
Okay.
How you want it?
I know I heard that.
How you want it?
Backwards,
Shit.
all that.
I mean, listen, I could do anything I wanted to
Have
do.
it your way.
I was an athlete, man.
I was in the NBA and I couldn't do half that shit, so I had to ask. I couldn't do it. I was a straight scorer.
How did golf come into your game? And obviously, you guys, I've heard legendary stories about just the competitiveness of you two on the golf course.
Mike is competitive in anything he do. Okay, he does nothing. I don't care if it is shooting marbles. He does nothing half-assed. He wants to be the best at everything he does. And pretty much he is.
In the late 1980s, the Midwest United States was undoubtedly home to some of the greatest basketball players on the planet at the time. Isaiah Thomas and Mark Aguirre were local Midwesterners getting their Pistons to the promised land. Magic Johnson was constantly running summer leagues in the offseason, and Michael Jordan was building a future contender in Chicago with his electrifying brand of basketball that was in the process of changing the game in real time. This influx of greatness was naturally affecting the quality of young talent coming from that region in the best way possible, as guys like Tim Hardaway Sr. were ready to lead the next crop of Midwest ballers into the 1990s. Because of this, during the NBA offseason, anybody who was anybody was playing in Chicago in some of the most legendary pickup runs of all time. On this day, however, word gets around to Hardaway that someone special is coming to the run. His Airness, Michael Jordan himself, was going to play. Here's Tim Hardaway Sr. on All the Smoke, talking to the guys about those legendary runs in Chicago, the history of summer basketball in Chi-Town, and the day peak MJ graced them with his presence on the floor.
About the runs? Any MJ stories?
Oh, I got a ton of MJ stories. So I'm in college. I'm going into my junior year of college. And a guy, he walks up to me and say, "Hey, yo, we got MJ coming." I was like, "MJ who?" He's like, "We got MJ." I said, "MJ who?" I said, "This Chicago. Who is MJ?" He said, "Michael Jordan." I said, "Oh, well, he gonna get his ass busted too." Shit. Yeah. This I turned now. I had me, Nick, Kendall Gill, and Donald Reese. We had Alfred Hughes and his brother. We was rolling. They brought in Michael Jordan, Terry Cummings, Craig Hodges. Ooh. You didn't tell me all that was coming. Y'all got pros coming. We not even the pros yet. We trying to get there if we gonna make it. So I'm like, oh, here we go. See, but a lot of people don't know. I studied Craig Hodges' move. See, Craig Hodges used to come down. He'd put in his right cross between his legs and he'd spin. And then he'd go to the basket and lay it up. So a guy be way over here and he's spinning going back right. So I knew when he was going to do the move. Sitting on it. And I was sitting on it.
He'll be a great guest for us too, Craig Hodges, for sure.
He got a lot of them, man. He talk about a lot. Yeah. And I took the ball away from him, went down court, whatever. But before the game, the guy was like, "Hey, Tim, I got a bet." I said, "What's the bet?" He said, "I got a bet that you're going to score 6 points, 4 or 6 points within Michael Jordan." I said, "How much the bet?" He said, "About 80,000. I said, 80,000? I said, "Okay." I said, "But I need that." It was an original Louis Vuitton jacket that he got made. And I wanted that jacket. I said, "I got to have that jacket and I got to give me $10,000. I said, "You got a minute and 30 seconds, man. I got to go play. Let me know." He's like, "Oh, man, fuck it, bet." I said, "All right, cool." So after I did Michael, after I took the ball from Craig Hodges, I went up for a layup. They called timeout. He was like, "Damn, Craig, you can't stick him?" I said, "No, he can't stick me. Why don't you switch off on him?"
You said it to M.
To M. The crowd went, "Ooh." Mike just turned his head and just kept walking like, "Man, no, y'all got to deal with that motherfucker." He didn't want that problem. And plus, I'm at the crib too. Yeah. I'm in front of my crowd. Yeah, I'm rolling too. Yeah. It's nip and tuck. He's supposed to have fouled out, but that's Mike. They won in double overtime. But I tell you this, man. Mike said after the game, he said, "Good game." He looked me in my eye. "You got a chance." At that particular point, you still trying to feel yourself out.
Right.
You still trying to understand if you got a chance. That door open.
And it
When
from
he
him
said
too.
that, and it's from him. It opened. When that door opened an inch, I kicked that motherfucker open, man. Because you getting that from him, my confidence went to another level. And I was like, wow. And that's all he said. You got a chance.
Sometimes that's all you need, though, right? Yeah. Especially coming from him.
Yep. I used to play. We had a bunch of ball players. Isaiah Thomas, Doc Rivers, Mark McGuire, Terry Cummins, Eddie Johnson. Everybody used to come to the house and play. And we used to play against pros all the time. So it was nothing for us to play against pros. And that's why we got so many pros that's in the league from Chicago, because we go back and we played against all these other high school and college guys and taught them and talked to them. So that's the way Chicago is.
But this is what I heard, Jelani. I heard that's the reason how the NBA Summer League and training camp got to Chicago, because all of the basketball players was going there and played in the summertime. And they was already there, so that's how the idea came. Because when we came in, all the summer league, the pre-draft camp, all that was in Chicago for years.
Right.
And they say the reason why I started there because of the Chicago runs. That's how it happened.
It's always been big Chicago runs, and it's starting to pick up again now.
In today's NBA discourse, you'll hear a lot of former players from previous eras say something along the lines of, "These guys today are soft, and they don't care about the league like we did." The hypocrisy of that argument is incredible, because there are many actions that NBA greats of yesteryear have done that would absolutely be frowned upon today if they were in the league. This next story from Craig Hodges is a perfect example about a Michael Jordan who was arguably at the absolute apex of his basketball career. In the spring of 1992, his airness had it all. He was the reigning league MVP and on his way to his second in a row and third overall in his career to that point. His Bulls were about to win a then franchise record 67 wins. And in 1992, that also tied them with the 1986 Celtics for the third best record in NBA history, which, because of what happens in the late 90s, definitely gets forgotten about. This team was looked at as all-time great. And so when the Bulls played a Miami Heat team that MJ had dominated and never lost to at that point in history, he felt like he could enjoy the Miami nightlife a little bit before heading to the game. Here's Craig Hodges on a side of MJ that you might expect once he retired, but never from the most famous athlete in the world while all eyes were still on him.
I remember we played the Bulls when I was in Milwaukee, and you know how you going through layup line and you cross paths, and I remember crossing paths with MJ and we dapped it up, and I told him, I said, man, if we ever get together, we're going to win championships. And we kept going, and we came back. Yeah. And I tell people, when you look at the numbers, he's 23, I'm 14. My 1 and my 4 encompasses 2 and 3. Together they equal 10. So ain't no way we could lose. Ain't no way we could lose.
So your first year in Chicago, you guys lose to Detroit?
Yes, and get our ass whooped. They laid it on us.
What'd you guys learn from that?
That the biggest thing was their physicality versus our athleticism.
It's the MJ rules.
So when they was knocking MJ down, they'd tap Scotty out a little bit. We would react to them taps. The following year, it was make sure that when anybody got tapped, 2 or 3 of us go over there quick and get them right to the line or get them up and let's go. That it ain't going to be us lingering over this hit or looking back. Get your ass up, get to the line, make your free throws. They going to foul you because they can't stop you. You know what I'm saying? Because the athleticism that we had in our front line, man, was stupid at that period of time. Being able to play under the system that we played under. With Doug, it was tough because everything was run so much through MJ that it was hard for the younger cats, Pete and BJ, Stacy, for them to be able to see how this is played. So once it became a thing where everybody was going to get touches, it became a different game, man. And once again, it was MJ was hot with the system when it was brought to him. He didn't want to run triangle, but it was like, and that's another thing. Watching The Last Dance and the aura of the mystique of Mike and the aura of the mystique of MJ or 23 or whatever you want to call it, and the reality of what the locker room was like. That wasn't a senior. He wasn't a senior in the class. You know what I'm saying? That was Bill Cartwright. So it wasn't ever where he was going to outspeak Bill or he was going to outspeak Hodge, because it was seniority. You came in the league. We was in the league when you came here.
Different
so
rules.
It's not going to be different level. So people from the outside would see it one way, but we on the inside understood it to be what it was, and that, you know, when things would go awry, it was going to be, yo, teach. And that's what we call Bill Cartwright. Yo, teach, what's up? And he going to let it be known, and wasn't nobody going to challenge that.
Hold on, where do I want to go there? I don't want to go there. Talk to me about the one time you guys were finishing up the season against Miami.
Right.
And you were going to see him in the first round of the playoffs.
Exactly. We're playing in Miami, and we're rolling at this time. The system is really playing for itself. And that's the cool part about the system. Once you get into it, you just come to games, man. You done did it so much, and it flows. So we go to shoot around, and we're leaving shoot around, and we're on the bus, and MJ, man, drop me off here. And drop him off at the bar. He said he's going to have some beers. Right? Say he's gonna have some beers.
Listen to the rest of this story.
Gonna have some beers. So he tell us to pick him up on the way back to the game. We pick him up, he still got his sweats on. MJ come to the game suited and booted. All right? Still got his sweats on. Pick us up, he get on the bus. Man, I'm feeling good. Right? Bubbly. You can smell the beer on him. Got 30 at half, right? Going through warm-ups. Man, I'm seeing 3 rims. I'm gonna shoot at the one in the middle.
That's hard.
And then told us, if y'all can't beat them, we don't need to win a championship. Y'all can beat them without me. But he came in there and he got it done early and went and sat down. Went and sat down.
That's why that's the kind of shit, not that, but it bothers me what Dallas's management is trying to portray Luka as. We aren't grown men and can handle what we need to do. They're mad because they think he smokes hookah and drinks beer. If you knew what motherfuckers was really doing and still going out there and being professionals,
and that's the crazy part is they know it ain't. They can play it off. Right. You paying the amount of money. You're investing to know what these cats are doing. So as well as anybody, it's just a matter that now you want to use that as a means of the reason you got rid of them or whatever, but it's sickening, man. It's that the same old, you control the media so you can control the narrative to a good degree.
Believe it or not, Michael Jordan and Gilbert Arenas have much more in common than just their profession. Gilbert and MJ both spent time playing for the Washington Wizards, and both had very memorable runs. Jordan would give the fans around the world one more chance to see him play, and give himself one more chance to make magic happen in a Wizards uniform. While he wasn't able to reach the postseason in Washington, there was still some gas in the GOAT's tank as far as memorable moments go. And there was some fun ones as MJ reached 40 years old and retired from the game of basketball. Now, upon Jordan's retirement, Gilbert Arenas would sign with the Wizards after winning the league's Most Improved Player award the season before in Golden State. Gil would enter the Wizards facility on the first day, and something as mundane and routine as selecting a locker would become a moment that Arenas himself still feels changed the course of his career. Here's Agent Zero with his own personal, real-life Like Mike story.
Gil, you made an appearance on Paul George podcast this week and talked about how you jacked MJ for some of his Wizards gear after you joined the team in 2003.
The story is this. Okay, so when MJ decided to play for the Wizards, it was part of a deal that if he played for 2 years, he would get 51% of the company, or 51% of the team. I guess when his time was up, the owner and MJ didn't agree to the terms. MJ left, which means he left all his stuff. So when I came that summer and I signed with the Wizards, I picked my locker. It was MJ's locker. So when I open it, you got all MJ's stuff. So I'm sitting here like, is this the MJ? It was like, yeah, this is MJ's locker. So I have the undershorts, all his stuff, his orthotics. I actually played in his orthotics my career. Yeah. MJ's orthotics, I put in my shoes and played.
For how long? Like, wouldn't that be odd if they weren't fit to your feet?
I played until I got hurt, which was from 2003 to 2007.
And they fit you?
Yeah. Because he was a 14 and it was like a 14 on one side and like 13 and a half. So he just trimmed it to 14 for 13. And yeah, it was the MJ show. I had the power of MJ in me.
There's items that his team searches for on the internet. Say you got some PEs, right? They're just made for you. If he ever see them on the net being sold, he knows every item.
That's crazy.
Like them shorts. I had my son when he was in Jordan game. Had my son go up there and get it signed. He was like, hey, where'd you get this? My dad. Who was your dad? Gilbert. I knew it. Where's the rest of the shit? Because, you know, when he left all his game and practice stuff. When he seen that, he knew that was his stuff. So he was like, give me the rest of the shit. And then he signed all his practices. So I have his under game practice shorts, under game shorts, had his orthotics. I wore his orthotics during my career.
For real?
Y'all thought y'all was getting the Agent Zero? Y'all was getting the Agent Zero and MJ.
Gil, you wore another man's orthotic?
Hell yeah. That's MJ.
Did you spray him down first?
Huh?
You spray him down first?
Hell no, it was MJ.
It don't matter?
They've worked?
You raw dogged MJ's orthotic?
Yes. Did they work? 3-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA.
Oh, so this was...
Yes.
Did you use them the whole time?
Like Mike. Really?
That's funny.
What?
That's like
Not
wearing
you
another
like
nigga
Mike
drawers.
for real.
It ain't it's not a regular.
That's like wearing another nigga drawers, dog.
No, it's like wearing Michael Jordan draws. Michael Jordan. Not regular.
It's like...
Nigga, feet sweat when you walk.
Draws then socks, I feel like in that order.
Because everybody was calling me Cap, right? So look.
Wait, you got...
Yeah, I got what you talking
You stole those from Space Jam?
Right, so look. This is his game shorts. This is the game shorts that he wears under the games. I had him sign these.
Well, how many pair of those does he have? Is it only one?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah, we all had some of them.
Yeah, so it's just...
But you jacked MJ for his UNC shorts.
I didn't jack him. He left them.
That you permanently
then I made him sign it.
And you didn't give them back.
And then this is his bag right here. God damn it. This is it right here.
You still have the bag.
I still got the... Look.
Yo, and that's the way that shit... That's the real... Yo.
It's the real...
That's the way that shit was back then. That's how old we fucking...
23?
That's how old we fucking...
Who wrote the 23?
Do that shit and throw it right in the middle.
No, we don't even use bags.
One thing I'm playing, man.
Gil.
Look, this is practice uniform. Look,
Wow.
still crunchy, probably sweaty.
Did you wash?
Hell no.
You raw dogged the jersey too.
23.
I'm pretty sure he sniffed it.
You sniffed it?
Huh?
Did it smell like tequila and cigars?
Got his practice shorts. Them being at 23.
I'm gonna need y'all to stop calling Gil a liar.
I know. I don't know why they do it.
Gil, where do you keep this?
These are the game ones. They turn color. They turn different colors.
They purple now.
They are. It's
You
wizardry.
We played in them?
23. Nah.
What's hilarious?
Big ass
Hey, look.
shorts.
These might tear. It's all crunchy right here. It's all crunchy. And then these is the ones he wore into practice.
Wait, so how many? I was supposed to say, how many UNC shorts are there?
One.
So he has one for practice and one for game.
Gil, where do you keep this MJ stuff? Just out of curiosity.
Storage. Come on, man. I got that. And what's so funny is I have all the.
This is before dry fit.
I have all the game. I have all the practice uniforms. I mean, the game. I got the game stuff too. So these are the game shorts. I have that. So I'm having them framed.
And you just been sitting on this stuff for 20 plus years.
Yep.
Never washed.
Nope.
Original.
I don't know why they be thinking I be capping, bro.
I still can't believe you have the bag of MJ soiled practice stuff in the original holder. The Sharpie in 23 on the shorts. Like,
what are orthotics at is what I want to know.
Someone has them. I don't think they know they have them. So I threw my shoes out. And then they were in my shoes, and I forgot to take them out.
Did you realize?
But let's get back to this
immediately?
orthotic thing. Right?
It was the when I went to wear them the next day, I was like, what? And I was like, oh shit.
So let's get back to this orthotic thing. How?
Easy. It was in there, and then I was like, oh shit.
No.
And then I put them in mine.
I understand the process. Fool. So y'all foot shape the same?
Yeah. Like you just
just was in pain.
One was a 13 and one was a 13 and a half.
So you was just in pain.
I had to shave the. So
the arch in his foot is identical to yours?
No, it wasn't. Nah.
You didn't care.
So you didn't care?
No. Because it was like a 13. It was a 13.
Because orthotics pretty much are uncomfortable when you first put them bitches on for your own fit.
Now he wore those.
Like when you first get them bitches, they're uncomfortable. They're not right with when your arches. They build your so.
He was flat-footed.
So they got to build arch up in it. So they put they'll make the thing a certain way. Gil.
No, not the hard. He didn't have those hard ones.
So they wasn't custom.
A little bit. It wasn't what we were used to. You know, his shit was from probably about the 80s. Just generic ass orthotic.
He went to CVS. He went to CVS and put his foot in that motherfucking thing.
It wasn't the hard ones that's like, it was, you know, so I just cut the little
Oh yeah, it's
extra
definitely
off.
a piece of foam.
Yeah.
I ain't taking a picture with no.
That's fire.
He took a picture with your son though?
Boy, you special.
He took a picture with Elijah?
Yeah, he picked my son to do how you shoot for everyone to get the shoes at the end of the camp. He let my son do it.
Did they get the shoes at the end of the camp?
No, my son missed. He pulled the GA. Actually, he did.
Jordan tapped him on.
Actually, he did better than I did over there with all that pressure.
Jordan tapped him on the chest.
Oh yeah, I sent something with KJ out there. Camp. Yeah, it's good. Hey man, go get these signed. You go to this camp, dog.
Yeah. As soon as he seen it, hey, nah, where'd you get this from? And then he was like, "Where's the rest of the stuff?" My son had to pull it out.
Right here.
Yeah, because I got the warm up, everything.
By 2003, when Michael Jordan finally stepped off the floor for the last time, he was the undisputed GOAT of basketball. It was so unanimous that this man was the greatest player of all time that it was almost intimidating. And that's where a great deal of that patented MJ aura comes from for many people. So what was it like for Carmelo Anthony, who was drafted second overall just as Jordan was leaving the league, to be personally selected by the greatest player of all time as his first signature athlete? Was there pressure on young Melo to succeed from MJ in the same way that Jordan would infamously put it on his teammates during his playing days? Here's Melo himself on his podcast, who paints a picture of Michael Jordan as someone who was not just a legend on the court, but also a watchful overseer of the game itself, actively invested in the next generation.
Early on with Mike, was he like a big bro type of mentor type of dude that you could hit up, you know what I'm saying, and be like, yo.
He's still that. It's a business relationship, but it's also a real solid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's solid. Because early on, he was super still in competitive mode. He was fresh out a couple of seasons, 2 seasons, so he was fresh out of competitiveness. You get what I'm saying? So he was on top of it. He was watching. He was seeing what was the hype and seeing the transition and working and how you develop. And he was heavily involved in that process. You get what I'm saying? Now it's like, all right, I got to go see him now. I got to go to his crib. Let me start. I got to learn. Let me get that part.
Right. And so, because Mike don't just fuck with anybody.
Nah.
So did you feel like not gassed up, but yo?
I felt different.
I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it was just like I'm different because my background, where I was coming from, how I was moving around, and then to get signed to Jordan Brand and for him to see that vision of, oh, I have this type of person, player, the mold, it fits over here. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We gonna work, we can create something with that. You get what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, damn, that was, to know that that's how he was thinking. So everything that I was doing to go against that, being off the court, you know what I mean? I get that cause. That's the only call I was kind of worried about getting, because I knew it was more than just a business relationship.
Right.
Feel me?
Yeah. He never make you smoke the long ass Jadakiss cigar, like the headaches.
I mean, I've been around.
Yo,
I've been. This is 20 plus years, man. So I've been around. I've been in many rooms. I've been in many experiences. So all good, positive, good experiences. So I've seen the best of the best.
I seen, and I'm sure you've seen Mike in situations where most people haven't. I'm saying because of the relationship, the access, and all that. But how real is Mike? I'm saying because I done heard some quotes from Mike where I'm just like, he ain't say that. I'm saying, but people be like, nah, bro, Mike is a real ass nigga, man. Don't, like, he's not no stuck up old head type of dude. He'll let you have it, bro. He'll get in there and mix it up, nigga. You 25 years old, he'll roast you type shit. You know what I mean?
But that's a part of it. That's a part of what made him super. I smell blood. You get what I'm saying? So I'm a best to do it when it comes to strategizing and knowing how to attack art of war. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, it's a whole nother level of chess game being played. And on top of that, most people don't really get a chance to see that side of him. But that's who he is. That's his personality. So that's why when people get a chance to be around him and, oh shit, Mike a cool ass dude.
because for so long, it's a legend, it's a myth.
Killer,
so what is like, damn, I wonder what he doing. I wonder how.
What he eating for breakfast?
Was the Wheaties real, man? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's that aura is different.
So listen, last week you said you never lost NBA ones. Did you
stirred
ever
some
have
shit up.
ones with Mike and beat Mike?
I don't want to talk about that. Nah, it's just, yeah, that was, I'm not saying it no way. I'm just saying I don't want to talk about it because I prefer not to talk about it because that was a real moment. You get what I'm saying? Real. I was in sanctuary, in
Bro,
church.
it's
I was in the temple. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I'm playing baseball with Babe Ruth.
and you getting that one-on-one conversation and
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So a lot of that is like, we done played, but it ain't wasn't one-on-ones and me versus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Check up. You know what I mean? Like, check up. I want to see where you at. You know what I'm saying? Check up for a point or check, you know what I mean? It was like, it wasn't like, yo, we just played to 7 or played to 11 and shit like that. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, we got 2 dribbles.
Right.
You got to score. Yo,
Mike did that too. Mike was about that shit too. The spots and the
Yeah, I
one
just
dribble?
told you, before I told you, he taught me how the psychological aspect of how to score, how to break down scoring.
Oh, I thought it was psychological because Mike is everybody already knows Mike was a killer. Yo, give me the rock.
But it was
quarter.
different. It was different. It's different because he knew how to pick games and pick games apart and see, you know what I mean, individually. So when I got with him, it was more individualized and catered to my game. And here's how I see the game, your game. Here's what I want to give you to add to that. Here's how you get around that. Here's the tricks of the trade. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's those type of moments, but then you dealing with it in quick time though. Like, oh, this is how you do it, and check up. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not holding your hand to it. He's just like, yo, listen.
no, we gonna talk
Yo,
about
boom,
it,
man.
but we gonna check up. Hey, let's go, check up. So it's
Let's
like,
get to it, bro.
Oh, shit,
Something-
all right. Oh, okay. Respect. Definitely taking that.
So come on, man. What the fuck you gonna tell him? You know what I mean?
No, it wasn't one-on-one games, but it was teaching
Right.
in
Workout
real time in action though.
Right.
Check up and then
game speed.
But this is what we trying to get out of this. Right? I'm gonna get there. No matter if you cut me off, that's my goal. However way you gotta get there, you get there. But
You got 2 dribbles.
Got 2 dribbles. May have 3. You may have 1.
Right.
So that was the teaching point.
After retiring from basketball, MJ simply couldn't stay away from the game he spent a lifetime loving. He needed to stay in the action. So in 2006, he would become a minority shareholder with the, at that time, Charlotte Bobcats. Behind team founder Bob Johnson, MJ was the largest individual owner of the franchise and was granted the final say on many basketball decisions. After 4 years in that role, on March 17th, 2010, the NBA Board of Governors approved MJ's $275 million purchase of a majority stake in the Bobcats, making him the first former NBA player to become a majority owner of a team in the league. Raymond Felton spent the first 5 seasons of his career in Charlotte, probably picked with MJ's influence thanks to his UNC roots. And he watched the entire transition of power in Charlotte. And if you thought Mike being a team owner meant living in a suit and staying behind the glass, think again. As Felton would tell Paul George on Podcast P, MJ felt the need to test his players with whatever gas in the tank he had left. And for what a 50-something-year-old MJ lacked in physical talent, he more than made up for with his infamous roaring competitive fire. Take a listen.
We followed you through North Carolina, going ahead and play for the team. Actually played for the Bobcats, being in your hometown, but from your first chance to play Jay, obviously, being a Tar Heel. Did y'all have a relationship going contact you going to Charlotte? Was that the reason they contacted? Because of the relationship you already had with MJ? Talk to us a little bit about how that relationship, how is he during that time.
Well, the start of the process. First, it was Bob Johnson. The owner of or Dwight to on the field, the game. He came in like 4. I'll say year 4 for me. He came in as the owner. Then the 5th was there with some of the team. Colorado, he's coming with him, but as far as part of the process, I got to give a shout out to Brady Bickerstaff, man, Bob Drake, Charlotte, making that drink. But it's just it's a player. He came in the locker room many times and told us how he felt, how he was playing. I know the one. Jeff McGinnis, Wallace, and I want to say Jimmy Rich, but Jimmy Rich might not have been there. He was fine. But I understand, man. It's not easy. And drafting fees and signing people agency and some things with the pay up. You just talent, you based on what you feel like the potential can be. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I think it's a lot of scrutiny from that. And I mean, obviously, Trevor and Hilks and like I don't think in the game, especially so you can't do it, ain't gonna live up for that, but just got a lot of things to say when it comes to basketball.
Right. Damn. Right. He had walked away with something else, right? Like he wasn't just winning.
But he was good. He was winning. We lost.
We're doing like the same move. Like, was this something different in there?
We'll still fade away.
Should have been done.
You get. Listen. That's
a crazy collection.
1991 was a very special year for Michael Jordan, as he would finally break through the glass ceiling and win his first NBA championship after 7 arduous seasons. He would average 31 points and 11 assists per game and seal the deal at the Forum in LA in 5 games. It was chaos in that locker room, as everyone wanted to be part of what many felt was a true changing of the guard moment in the NBA. In the middle of it all was Andrew Bernstein, a photographer who has taken some of the most iconic photos in NBA history. On this night, however, Bernstein's critical eyes were scanning for something more than a highlight. He already had shot the biggest moments of the 1980s, and now he was hunting for a moment that he could capture that would define the 1990s. Down the hall from the trophy celebration, in a much more quiet room, Michael Jordan, still wearing the story of the series on his face, drifts away from the chaos for a brief moment that no one expects. Bernstein happened to see MJ as he left, and what he finds is unequivocally the moment the photographer had been waiting for all night. Here's Andrew Bernstein himself with Byron Scott on how that brief release of emotion for MJ became an iconic NBA photograph that people still look upon fondly today.
Well, that's for sure. So, Andy,
yes, sir.
The biggest photo that you've ever taken, and when or where was it published?
Oh, great question, man. Well, probably my most important photo, and I like to say, if I'm remembered for one picture in my entire life, years from now, and they say, oh, he took that picture, it would be Michael Jordan holding the trophy, 91,
That's what
first championship with his dad next to him. Michael's crying his eyeballs out.
I remember
it was
that,
just such a moment, and at the time, it was important. It took him 7 years to get there. We didn't, obviously, none of us knew there were going to be 5 more after that.
Right.
We didn't know his dad was going to get murdered.
Right.
You know, and we didn't know that the photo would become iconic, which iconic usually is just a measure of time. So at the time, it was an important picture, which is interesting because I'm kind of known as the action guy. People remember the dunks and they remember the 3-pointers and all the stuff on the court, but I pride myself in being a photojournalist, so anything off the court or a photojournalistic moment like that, or Kobe in ice, for example. A lot of people remember that photo. So that would be the one, pretty much, Jake.
So that was on Sports Illustrated cover?
Oh, man, what was that? I was on a whole bunch of stuff all over the place.
It was everywhere. When you take a picture like that, Andy, do you know at that time, when we won the back-to-back, we knew we would be iconic as a team. But when you take pictures like that, do you know that picture is going to be an iconic picture at that moment?
Well, I knew it was important, and I knew that if I didn't take it, I'd be in deep trouble. But I set myself up to succeed in that moment, and I know I'm preaching to the choir. You guys have known each other. We've known each other for a long time. Right. And I see how everybody prepares for their particular role as part of the team or organization or what have you. I went into that locker room. The Bulls were whooping it up in the visiting locker room at the Forum. As we remember, it was smaller than, it was about a third of the size of this room we're in that right now. It was chaos.
Yes.
And
I was there.
And the network, you were there. And the network, in all their wisdom, decides to do the trophy presentation live from this crazy little stage they made in the corner. All hell's breaking loose in there, and I can't see anything. And I was the first one in, so I got the champagne flying. Everybody and their mother came in, all the media, everything. And so I had to jump up on the bridge table where they kept the gum and the tickets and everything, so I could see.
Right.
And they did the trophy presentation, and then they went to commercial, and then after commercial, they wanted to grab Michael to do a one-on-one, and they're coming back from commercial, there's no Michael. He had taken off, and something in my head and chaos going on. Something in my head said, look to your left. And literally where you are, there he is, a little bit down from where I was standing with the trophy, with his dad, having his moment, and it was unbelievable. I shot boom, boom, and then I think somebody grabbed him. And that was the end of that. And then if you watch The Last Dance, they did almost a full episode about that moment, which is really bizarre because they zoomed in on the ball of the trophy, and you could see the flash and a little bit of me.
Silhouette.
As I took that picture, you can see it in the ball of the trophy. It was surreal to watch that.
Yeah. By the way, I had to pick up that gum and the tickets that you kicked off to the side, so thank you.
But
you made me
well.
work, Andy, that night.
It was probably soaked by the end of that.
Yeah, real. So on a shot like that, I know you said you turned left and you just caught the perfect moment, but were there other people, photographers around trying to encompass that same shot?
No, because it was so packed with people. I don't know how he got from the little stage to there. Was a locker. Somehow he did. He just escaped with he literally took the trophy from Jerry Reinsdorf and went over there. It was crazy. And there were a couple of writers over there and family members. I remember Michael's wife was there, his mom was there, and of course his dad next to him. It was a pretty amazing moment.
That is crazy. Now,
the rivalry between Reggie Miller and Michael Jordan is very well documented. They battled nearly 50 times from 1987 to 1998, thanks to the Bulls and Pacers being in the same division. For all that trash talking that MJ was known to do, Reggie has the distinct honor of being one of the few that ever got under the GOAT's thick skin. This culminated in 1993, when the competitive rivalry turned physical between the two shooting guards, as MJ tried to literally take Reggie Miller's eye out. Reggie, who's never had the chance to discuss the whole story of that night, walks us through it on All the Smoke with the kind of detail that we all have always wanted on this fight. What exactly happened that made MJ so mad? How fast did it escalate? What did Reggie see? Or for that matter, not see? And much more. Here's Miller with a few cameos from Vernon Maxwell on this classic 90s moment.
I've been waiting for the right forum to tell these stories.
Welcome to Death Row. All the smoke.
We're honored.
We will start with the MJ fight.
We shall.
A little trip down memory
But
lane.
you got to go back to when they have the ball.
Oh, shit.
So go back.
Hold on, he got to pull the whole clip up.
Pull the whole clip up.
There we go.
So this is it. Look, watch this. 1,
Yep.
2.
Yeah.
I tried to get him there, and he got out the way. So I was like, all right, tip in.
Got you now,
I'm
bitch.
going straight to him. Let him know. I had to hurry up and turn around because I didn't want him to come and chokehold me.
He tried to rake you.
So I'm like, we both get into we get into this. He scrapes my eye. I can't see.
I saw him
Like
rake
he
you.
was trying to scratch it.
I saw him rake you like that.
Right? So all this goes down. This is in MSA, by the way. We're at home. We are at home in Market Square Arena playing Michael Jordan and Chicago Bulls. So this shit goes down. Ronnie Nunn. Ronnie Nunn comes in, breaks it all up. They huddle up. I'm thinking, okay. So back in the day, a lot of it, look at this. Scratched the crap out of me.
15-yard face.
Look at this. But look, I'm holding him and controlling him.
God damn.
But you ain't going anywhere. Again, those pull-ups.
Drake Stadium.
So I'm thinking maybe we'll get double technicals. Maybe if I get thrown out, he's going to get thrown out. We both are throwing. Jess Kersey, man. Jess. I had a fresh due for the
I was
game.
about to say, that cut was clean.
Hold on. So,
just you got kicked out the game. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
wow.
You guys both threw punches.
MJ threw by 3.
They ain't never throwing Mike at them.
Who's shooting free throws right now?
You fouled him, Reg.
They ain't throwing Mike at no motherfucking game.
In our building.
That's
Maybe in Chicago. In our building?
And he's shooting the technicals too. God damn.
45 on us. Not that he wouldn't have scored 45 with me in the game, but shit, give me a chance. In our building.
MJ threw 3 punches on
So
the
then
road
the league-
and then get kicked out the
So
game.
then
That's
the league,
crazy.
The next day, I got a 1-game suspension,
You got kicked out and the game suspended.
and he got 3 games. So why did he get 3 games then?
Right.
And
But
it wasn't
still
kicked
got to
out.
stay in the game. Wow.
So they let him play the game, dissuspended in 3 games.
And then suspended him.
And that's how they did me at the San Francisco Pro-Am.
Come on, man. Mike's in
That's
town.
Mike, man. I thought you
Man.
coming to your town, all the bitches got
Hey,
their
Max
jerseys
said
on.
when Mike came to Houston, all his women started wearing.
Here's the thing, man. You would see, you go out to a club or whatever, bar or whatever, and you see these same chicks, real regular. You come to a Bulls game. Why are you dressed as Sunday church, man?
I told y'all about this.
Like-
shit. Mike coming to your city, coming out right.
Man.
They thinking they finna get married or
Oh.
hit. One of them thinking they're gonna get hit by Mike. Mike ain't thinking about that.
Of my whole career, one thing I wish or regret, and people will say, I wish I would have had more than one series versus that dude. I'm not saying I would have won. We would have won. Probably not. But you're judged by
those big wins.
I won a few battles. He always won the wars. He's got 6 of them. And we took him 7 games. I just wish we'd have had more. I wish I could have gone against him more.
He had a lot
Again, and I don't want people jumping on the internet. I'm not saying we would have beat them.
Just wanted
It
the
probably would have
smoke.
been the same thing.
Just wanted that smoke.
But man, I want to see.
Show
I
me.
got confidence. I want to see how I am versus that dude.
I'm gonna do my thing too.
I want to see how I am versus that dude.
He obviously had a lot of respect and spoke highly of you, but what was different when you played a game against him in the Bulls?
I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for Max. There was no weaknesses. Try to force him left. You try to force him right. You try to top lock him. You try to hold. Try to be physical with him. I equate it to this. It was like, and maybe this is how centers feel when they were going against Shaq. He was Shaq of shooting guards. I don't care. There was no way you could get around him in front of him. He was just too strong. And then he had a 48-inch vertical. So you were never blocking his shot. And he could stop on a dime, his handles, and then he held the ball like it was the orange. So he's taunting you, holding the ball on your face, the tongue is all out and shit, and he's chewing the fucking gum and all that shit. And you come down, and the black eyes are looking at you, and I'm looking right back at him. Yeah, motherfucker, I ain't going anywhere. And he's looking at you, and man, no weaknesses, none, zero. I could look. I love tape. I'm watching. I'm always trying to find a tail, and I found a tail on everyone. I could not find a tail, not one. If he goes left X amount of times, what is his percentages? Great. Right, great. Step back, great. Rebounding, great. Passing, great. You can't punk him. I'm trying to find something. So it's almost like shit by committee. Derek McKee.
Come on. We got to get some help down this motherfucker. Come on now, don't be here. I've been calling
I ain't too
motherfucker.
proud
Hey,
to beg.
Come on now, this motherfucker.
I ain't too proud to beg.
That's what I'm tired
The
of.
toughest shot in basketball, which is the fadeaway, he shot that shit at a high clip. That's the toughest shot
And
in
you
basketball.
can't block it. You can't get it.
But see,
it's faded away and it's at 48 inches.
When he got to learn how to put his back to the basket and get in that post, that's when he got.
And then
it got crazy.
he would do the
He get-
Elijah one. You get that.
The shimmy
So
shake shit on you.
He
Oh,
gets you
Lord.
leaning.
Oh my goodness.
And maybe Max can attest to this. Pick and rolls. Don't let your big be one step too. He's splitting. And then now it's up to Dale and Antonio. Good
Look
luck.
out below.
Good luck. Now he's your problem.
Good
now.
luck. Good luck.
Somebody finna get banged on.
He's out of my
he's your
airspace.
problem now if he splits. But then when you would extend him to half court, he would get this shoulder or this shoulder, which way he was coming off, and get under the big, and then it's downhill. So now if you're trailing, as shooting guards are, you got to get under, and then and on top of that, he can shoot.
They talked about it. I seen a lot of videos about his athleticism, but I seen the video recently when he got a tip ball and they passed to him. He went up on vertical on Charles Barkley. That shit was so bad.
That's another thing that people don't understand. Not only could he's known for the two-handed, but he could one leg too.
Yeah.
Either leg. It was, and be out till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, smoking, drinking, whatever.
Cracking.
Playing cards.
Yes, all this shit.
Games at 7:30.
Sometimes he'll go play golf the same day he play.
Man, it's almost like he was trying to make it fair.
Let me go get a buzz and some heat strokes so you guys can have a chance tonight.
Man, didn't have a tail, guys. And you hear it all the time. Who's the GOAT? Who's the greatest? And all that between him and LeBron. And I try to stay away from that because I went against LeBron his first year. He was a rookie. My last year. So I don't have no point of reference. But I will say LeBron has the greatest career.
I say that all the time.
He has the greatest career. But Mike is the best
basketball player ever.
Two of the biggest podcasts in NBA social media today are undoubtedly All the Smoke and the Knuckleheads podcast. Hundreds of episodes and hundreds of millions of views later, they did a very special dual podcast with the four main stars of the pods, plus former NBA All-Star Antoine Walker. Whenever any basketball personalities from their era get together, there's usually one question that is guaranteed to provide a unique story. What was your first encounter with the GOAT, Michael Jordan? Between the 5 former players on stage, they had way more history than you might think at first with his airness. They shared the kind of Michael Jordan stories that you only hear when mics are usually off and guards are down. No hero worship, no fluff, just first-hand moments from people who shared gyms, tunnels, and locker rooms with the man many feel is the greatest player of all time.
Q, I know you had a really good relationship with him. Talk to us about what he meant to you and what it was like being in his ecosystem.
Man, for me, the craziest shit is I met Mike before I even made the league because Juanita's family, her mom and everybody, Juanita grew up on the next block from me. I grew up on 115th and Parnell. They grew up on 115th and Wallace, right next, across the alley. So I knew Carl, John, and her nephews, which became his nephews. So the first time I ever met him was there in the backyard. He got the whole fucking city out. So that was how I met him.
How'd your shoe deal come about? Because you've been a lifer.
Very blessed.
I was begging for some golf gear in the back. We were the same size. I ain't seen shit.
Hey, listen, man. You could have never told me it was gonna be what it has become in a family situation like that. But I was a dude that wasn't. I got picked 18. 18th pick ain't about to really break the bank on no shoe deal if you get a shoe deal also. You know what I'm saying? We was trying to figure our shit out. You was third pick, highest high school pick ever at that point.
Yes, sir. Give that a back. Give it up.
KG was previously number 5. Black came in and rewrote that. So we was trying to get a deal, and our agent, I was getting offers for just apparel deals. He was getting what our agent felt like was lowballed, and then we went to Jordan campus flight school out at Santa Barbara for the kids and shit that everybody would go to. And we had all of this N1 shit. They was giving up so much shit, bro. It was crazy. We had all this N1 shit. So we got through hooping the one day. We icing down, and MJ like, what the fuck y'all got all this shit on for? And we was just like, shit. And we didn't know he had Jordan brand, and that was all starting this shit. And he was like, man, y'all get rid of that shit, man. Y'all gonna be with me. And we like, we didn't really know what that meant, but Mike said we gonna be with him, so we was
That's
deep,
enough,
like,
you knew you could at least get into a club then, finally.
The next morning, our agent called us, was like, man, what y'all do? We like, what you talking about? He was like, man, they just sent me over a contract. Y'all finna sign with Jordan.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah,
give it up.
Shut all that down. I went from getting apparel deals to some cash in my pocket. I was like, this is all right here.
So once we seen that, we was fooled with it after that.
You already couldn't tell you shit, but after that, it was all the way over.
Oh, it was a whole nother game. Now we Jordan down.
Like, we Jordan dudes, but
We
then
Jordan
we get
down.
bro, that was a stamp of approval, bro. I was like, shit.
Mine went way different than that.
You had to get to the Bobcats?
Jack get boxes every leap year.
Well, what it is at the time I got my Jordan deal, I was wearing Protege. If y'all don't know what Proteges
Hold
is.
on. Keep before you say what you say.
Niggas.
Time out. So, Jack, the first time, shout out Al Harrington, by the way, that's our brother. The first time you wore Protege in the game, what happened?
We made a check off that bitch. Let me start there.
But it also almost ended his career.
It definitely ended my career. See, it was some bullshit ass shit. Stephon Marbury gave us the game.
This one I knew you was a real friend. I knew he was a real friend because
no way in hell I was supposed to wear
Steph brought that shit to Al.
And Al like, Stack, I need you to get in with me. I need you. I'm like, cool, you my nigga. The worst decision I ever made. I ended up breaking my toe and playing in these shits, right? For 3 years. I think every quarter, at every timeout, if you wanted to know my moves, you didn't have to watch the tape. Just the black marks was all on the court, so you can see everywhere I went, right?
Hey,
So
but the
cheap.
very
It was some
first game-
Walmart ass shoes called Proteges, right?
The very first game, though, he made a move. I don't know if it was a left to right or right to left, but he came out, the soul went that way. And he
I need
went
another
this way.
foul. This 2 minutes in the game.
The game just started. I said, oh shit.
So then I get traded to Charlotte where MJ at. I'm playing in them shits. I make a move. I come out. I got my toe hanging out the motherfuckers. I come to the sideline. I'm sending a ball boy to the back to get MJ. Hold on, what is that? Brought me some J's. He felt so bad for me, dog. The next day I had a Jordan contract in my locker.
So it was a charity case.
Ah, damn. Sometimes I take it, but shit.
That motherfucker,
Goddamn.
Mike adopted Jack.
I paid my dues.
Look at that poor little boy over there. Let's get it. Twan, you were someone that got to play with him in the summertime, but then against him on the biggest stage. What was that effect like in getting to go head to head against Mike?
My first 3 years, I came in the league in 96, so I went against the last three championships, 96, 97, 98. I went 1-11.
1-11, damn.
We went 1-11. I didn't play against him in the playoffs, but I was still a little fan too, because I came in at 19 and I grew up watching the Bulls, so I was a little fan. But I got my revenge when he came back to the Wizards.
It's never too late.
When he came back to the Wizards, that's when I got my. So these guys know, because obviously Darius and Q was with me in the summertime, so got a phone call, 2001. He was like, hey man, I heard you guys in the gym. I need y'all back with me. Oh, they like, yes, Michael Jordan. Y'all remember you could call people private back in the day? So he called me private. I didn't know who it was. He was like, I need you back in the gym with me. So I called all the guys. We all worked out together every day anyway. And he moved our run over to Hoops Gym over in the West Loop. If you guys familiar with that, MJ rented the whole gym out for the summer and we just started working out together. We had to pretty much, they know this, we had to go off his routine. We played every day at 2 o'clock, but you had to do your individual work before 2 o'clock. And then you play pickup ball. And some of the most legendary runs you ever want to be a part of. If you lose, you may not get back on the court. It was 30, 35 pros. You had everybody flying in. I remember you guys mentioned LeBron James. He was 16. He came in to play with us.
That's when you
He
brought
probably
him out.
didn't play till like the 10th game. I felt bad for him. He flew all the way up to play. But it's thick. It's 30 pros in the gym that's already established.
And you said he's high school. He's
And
16.
then Twan took him to the 50-yard line.
What's the 50-yard line?
And then Twan took him to the 50, y'all.
Man, it was a special party for somebody.
Hold on, what's the 50-yard line?
The trap.
The
No
trap.
place LeBron James should have been.
We ain't going there. Don't worry about it. We ain't going that way,
boy.
bro. We ain't going that way. But no, that was my experience with Mike. So I got an opportunity to be around. I'm not going to let him kill me with that. I got a chance to be around Mike every day, man, and see his work ethic. Just like these guys, like me and Darius Q, we got a chance to be around him and see how great he was and the work ethic he put in. And to see him do it at 37, 38 to get back in the league was something special to see. So those are memories I would always remember. And we hung out. You guys know that. We hung
That
out
was
all
dope
day
shit.
long.
That was dope
4 days,
shit.
4 or 5 days a week, we was together every day.
Mike was so
for 3
cold,
months.
like he rented the hoops out, right? Then it was a joint parking lot that was like whatever the fuck it was. He turned that shit into his steakhouse.
His restaurant.
And it wasn't nothing
Y'all
but for
remember
us to go
160
there
Blue?
after the workout,
Yeah.
go from the workout. They about to play call. I ain't gamble with these motherfuckers. I was smart. But I'll watch. I seen it. But they
Yeah.
out there, and you go over there, eat steaks, smoke food, all this shit, wine, all that shit. They up there smoking cigars, kicking it for hours. I ain't with none of this shit. I'm gone.
It was one of the obviously greatest moments of my life to be around the greatest and to see how he worked and how he went about his preparation to getting prepared, especially at that age. So I learned a lot, and they know how he was. He was super competitive. He wanted to win every day. If you wasn't winning, you didn't mean anything to him. He didn't care about. He don't like losers. You got to win. So you just learned a lot in his competitive spirit and how he liked to do things. So that was one of the most memorable times of my life to be able to play against Mike for 2 years and be around him in his personal space and to see how he does it on an everyday basis was something special for me.
Straight up. Not a lot of people say that. We got to do
The
that.
shit talking was crazy.
He ever
That
told
was
y'all
really
y'all
my
wasn't
next
shit?
question. What kind of shit talking was going on? That was my
Shit
thing.
talking in there.
He ain't never told y'all
He
wasn't
just
shit.
used to say crazy shit.
Yeah,
but
he
like,
never won nothing.
He told me I wasn't shit. We was losing too. In Charlotte, he came in practice and had his way with us, bro. Talked to us bad. Told me every championship what he averaged and everything. We couldn't say nothing. And we was Charlotte. We was barely making the playoffs. How we gonna get 6 championships, nigga?
D, what was that shit talking back in them days?
Mike used to, like, I remember my first being around Mike, I couldn't believe he cussed.
What?
I called my mama and was like, man, Mike cuss like us. He be just cussing like us. But seeing Twan a super shit talker, him in the gym, it just kept the momentum in the gym and the atmosphere in the gym with Mike and Twan and different guys. You had ballers in there, Mike Finn. He ain't used to say shit, but he used to be in there busting folks' ass.
Truly.
You know what I'm saying? So the shit talking used to be at an all-time high.